Cody, you know that Zaslow is serious about wanting to replace Mike Biamonte as the Heat's in-stadium announcer, right?
I did not know that. Doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know that. Tell me more.
Well, did you know that Mike Biamonte is leaving after 35 years? I'd be curious. We should get him on the show and just ask him, after 35 years, why would you stop? I thought for sure he would be doing that job for forever, and he's been very good at it, and rare is the thing. I got to think. I mean, Detroit has something that's great, but I got to think that most arenas do not have something that has lasted 3.5 decades.
Yeah. No, it's impressive. I think a guy in his position, the PA announcer, I think gets overlooked. I don't think he's appreciated as much as he should be. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think he is here. Everyone knows the whole shtick. I think he's very appreciated down here.
Yeah, dos minutos. I get it. I mean,
wow, that is dismissive of a legendary voice in this market. You just were really indifferent about it.
I am saying I don't think Heat fans appreciate him and will miss him as much as 35 years of service warrants. I may be wrong.
You're doing that.
Okay.
Can we put that on the poll? Dos minutos. Yeah, I get it.
It was really dismissive. If I were talking to Mike Biamonte right now and he's like, yeah, Cody's 50-year career at the Herald. Words, I get it.
No. You know what? If Mike Biamonte were right here, I'm sorry, unintentional faux pas there. I would say to him directly, do you think that fans fully appreciate the career you have had? Because I just think the PA announcer is background noise that everyone assumes and takes for granted.
During a timeout yesterday, Mike B addressed the crowd after they played a tribute video to him to say, like, after this season, I will no longer be here. And the audible, no, from the crowd was startling. I frankly was surprised and, like, so happy for him because it's what he deserves.
Miami has very few things like this. Never mind sports, period. Mike feels some of this on the University of Miami campus. What used to be Mark Light Stadium and just Mark Light Stadium is a corner shop where the people who have been going there for 35 years have an allegiance to it that's unusual. The Heat fan who knows and appreciates Mike Biamonte has that reaction where it's like, no, what do you mean he's leaving? I'm used to this. It will not be the same without him because it's a very unusual community to have in such a transient town where you have just a ton of people who just go to all of the games or go to many of the games and associate this as one of the sounds with this game that takes them through, like having children, winning championships, discovering Dwayne Wade. Like, he's the soundtrack on that stuff.
I am glad to hear what Jeremy said, and I am happy to be wrong. I'm glad he's more appreciated than I would have imagined.
I mean, I would say he's probably a bigger soundtrack to my Miami Heat childhood than Eric Reed was. Like, I used to walk around my house. I used to walk around my house doing the Miami Heat starting lineup introduction. I think Biamonte might have been a bigger thing for me as a kid.
Childhood, you're old as hell. They weren't around when you were a child.
Yeah. That's the first time Zaz has complimented me this month, the 33rd time in his career.
Basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say Zagak. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's enough. Calm down. Everybody take a seat. Thank you.
You stood for that, but you couldn't stand for the actual thing?
I mean, my knee, I was having a bad knee day.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I had a doctor's note.
I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but I sort of felt like yesterday was the worst professional football day I'd ever seen and in my entire life. And then I saw the stat. Do you guys know when the last time was that professional football had a full slate of games and there was only one-score game in it? Do you guys want to guess the last time that happened? It's pre-salary cap, pre-legislating equality, because I wasn't prisoner of the moment. It was 1970. It was 50 bleeping years ago that there was a weekend of professional football less competitive than that one, because half the teams are broken and we're halfway through the season, and now there's Andy Dalton out there trying to make a tackle when he throws it to A.J. Espinosa, and there's Spencer Rattler, throwing the ball. And who had the more embarrassing play? Was it Andy Dalton or was it Spencer Rattler, where you're just throwing it to one of those power forwards that play defensive end? They're catching it and they're stiff arming you. You're missing the tackle, and then they're just running into the end zone.
I don't know. When Epinesa caught the ball, he juked somebody out of their shoes with a 1-2, and I think it was Andy Dalton who flew like 6 yards out the other way.
The plays that stuck with me yesterday were in that Bengals-Jets game, but I don't want to start.
That was a good game.
It was the only good one. I want to get to funniest thing of the sports weekend, and I want to get to the Hurricanes as well, but I want to start, surprisingly, with the Miami Heat are going to be good offensively.
Hell yeah.
Norman Powell.
If they're good offensively, then I know they're going to be good, because I know they're going to be good defensively. They're always good defensively.
When do we get to say, like, it's only 3 games. So, like, how much of a sample size do we need to say, okay, the Heat are going to play fast and they're going to be able to score?
No, but obviously they're going to play fast. Like, I don't know if any of that stuff works in the playoffs, but obviously they're going to be a fun team to watch offensively. I think we can state that after 3 games, because they look totally different offensively. This is without Tyler Hero, and they've changed. It's not that the ball's going in. They're changing the way that they're doing things, and Norman Powell's really good.
They don't call any plays. Did you hear that after, like, I think it was after the second game where they won in Memphis, and they said, Spo didn't call any plays. They just run up and down the court.
Against Orlando, they played the fastest game I've ever seen them play. Then they scored a $140 again at Memphis. They scored a $140.
Yesterday, they continued with that pace, even with the Knicks, a really good defensive team,
Hell
slowing
yeah.
them down. And right now, they're running on average 22 on-ball picks per 100 possessions. The all-time record for the fewest in a season is 37.9. That's just showing the lack of plays right now, where they are just getting the ball, pushing it up the court, whether it's Jaime Jaquez doing it with the bench unit, whether it's Davion Mitchell in the starting unit. They are pushing the ball, and it's leading to all sorts of open shots for Simone Fontecchio, amongst others.
You guys are overthinking this one, pal. Big screens. What are you talking? Terry Rozier's no longer here, and they're 2-0. We got him away. The franchise has been fumigated, and we're undefeated since he's gone.
The last time they beat the Knicks was when Terry Rozier had I believe, Heat-high 34 points in that game at the end of the 2024 season.
Under the jail.
Yes, let's say that, can we? When Bam Adebayo is saying, oh, we all stand behind Terry, he's our brother, you got to say that, I guess, but he was dead weight on the end of the bench. They were dying to get rid of this guy. So the FBI got rid of him for them.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. You're right. They have to say that, I guess. Like, we support him. He's our brother. But here's the thing. My first thought when I heard Bam say that, and granted, it doesn't appear to be that he was doing anything with rigging games while he was with the Heat. It appears to be something that happened with the Hornets. But do you have to support him? And the reason that I say that is because if he's rigging games, why would you support him? Like it's the worst thing you could do if you're a teammate. That kind of bothered me when they said, and you know what? The same thing with the Blazers too. Is we support him, we love him. Well, hold on a second. If he's rigging games for you to lose, why would you support this person?
Yeah. Well, Chauncey Billups wasn't rigging games or basketball games. It's alleged that he was rigging poker games.
Well, and he was passing along information as far as who they're going to play, not play because they're tanking games.
Co-conspirator number 8 did. Yeah. We don't know if that was Chauncey Billups, although who the hell was it if it wasn't Chauncey Billups?
No, it was. But in Rozier's case, why would you support someone who is actively trying to hurt the thing that you're making a living
Why
off
does
of?
Cody say you have to say that? You don't have to actually say that.
I think it's what you say if you're a teammate whose teammate has not been found guilty yet. I mean, the evidence is incriminating. Okay, I'm not going to say Terry Rozier is guilty, put him in jail, but the evidence is incriminating. 30 unders on prop bets, 30, and all 30 of them hit in a game where he was not on the injury list and then leaves with a mysterious ailment 9 minutes in. That's incriminating.
Did he have six? Was the bail $6 million for Terry Rozier? That seemed impossibly high for what it is that we were talking about.
Too low.
$6 million as a bail. I don't know if you can look up for me other comps on that, because when I heard that, I'm like, can that be right?
It was a $10 million bond. He had to put up his $6 million home in Florida as a result. That's part of why, obviously, these guys are supporting him, because forget the fact that it was just he's accused of one game of this, right? So if you're the guys and you haven't been a part of that where you're accused of him throwing any of your games, you can look at your brother who you've played with and
that's
say,
why
I support
said,
this
granted,
guy.
it doesn't seem to be with the Heat.
Right, and then on top of that, you're looking at a guy who was brought in shackles and taken from the flight. It's a really different experience than someone who was
that
at least
how it
allowed
went
to turn himself
down?
in.
Was he taken off the plane?
I not off the plane, I don't believe.
No,
but
it was in Orlando, but there are some politics involved here. Congress summoning Adam Silver over this. There are politics involved in what it is that's happening. Adam Silver now has to go and explain some things to Congress, and there are some optics involved. There's next to nothing. I will say this again. Once you're weaponizing federal institutions for political gain, as is happening all over the place now, and you can get some black millionaires in shackles, you're going to do that. But one of the things that is interesting to me here, we glanced over this last week, how little power the NBA investigators actually have. Did you guys see this Eastern Michigan story? And I don't expect you to have seen it, and it's a little difficult for me to read my notes with these Bad Bunny glasses. So
Greg, you up on Eastern Michigan?
You'll forgive me
time,
for a second as I find this story, because
I know one player on the roster.
There was something funny in the Eastern Michigan stories in that there are some accusations, because this is easier to do in college, and it's really dangerous in college, because obviously in college you can have players who need money. Terry Rozier ostensibly wouldn't need money when he's got a $26 million contract. So if you're going to buy a player for things of these purposes and have him risk the $26 million, federal jail time and everything else, it's harder to get to pro players. But the NCAA went and tried to interview the Eastern Michigan players and people near them, and they were all like, yeah, not going to talk to you. Don't need to talk to you. You don't have any real power. We're going to threaten you by taking away your eligibility. Well, they don't have any eligibility left. So there's literally nothing the NCAA can do. It's just interesting to see that there's also nothing the NBA can do, because if you're going around Terry Rozier's family and friends, they're not going to talk to you. They've got to talk to the FBI. They might not talk to the FBI either. But when federal power is being the thing that you're hit over the head with, or just NBA investigator X, the NBA investigation is going to be incomplete, because nobody needs to cooperate with that.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm mad about, I think Heat fans are as well. How could the NBA not disclose any of this to the other team, specifically a team that then trades for this player and gives up a first-round pick? I don't even – do the Hornets have a responsibility to have told the Heat? I don't know. I can go either way on that one. But the NBA, The NBA doesn't let another team know that we're investigating. We hit a roadblock, so it's kind of open. We can't do anything about it. But this player may be investigated by the FBI, and the Heat wind up having to give up a first-round pick. Now, granted, they gave up Kyle Lowry. I mean, that's a good day no matter what. But they still gave up a first-round pick.
But Zaz, here's the thing. So the NBA is going to tell the Heat, hey, by the way, there's a little bit of an issue. We had a red flag come up with one of the gambling partners that says that Terry Rozier may have been allegedly fixing this game.
That's right.
And so you're going to just uncover an entire massive investigation to the Heat, to another team, when you have it siloed with the Hornets.
Knew.
I know, but you have it siloed there. And now all of a sudden you're going to let another team know, and then that team's going to tell another team, and then blah, blah, blah.
But they didn't actually clear this player. Like there's an open, essentially.
They took him out of the season. He was done with a fake injury.
That's debatable.
That's what Windhorst says, that the information on this is somewhat cloudy because Shams reported the NBA cleared him and the NBA had not cleared him. And so there are some things here that are still a little bit murky. But can we talk about the product on the court for a second?
Oh, it's a good product.
Is Tyler Hero going to foul this up? Because you're doing the Terry Rozier thing. Is Tyler Hero going to make this better? It's going to be something worth watching because it's inescapable how good they look without Tyler Hero offensively, and he is going to come back, and there's been some questions for the entire time that he's been here about how good he can be at the end of games. He can get his own shot at the end of games. I still think the Heat are going to have trouble at the end of close games playing this way.
That's what it is, though. Like that right there is where Tyler Hero's going to help. We saw it at the end of the game in Orlando where they really couldn't score the last few minutes. And we saw it for a small stretch last night as well. So having an extra guy who could create and make junk shots when the defense is tied up, that's where he's going to help.
What a wonderful problem for the best coach in the NBA to have is to integrate his all-star player into what's already good.
But he's ball dominant, and they need Davion Mitchell's defense in the starting lineup.
The other thing, too, is this offense has worked because there's been no ball stopper, right? In years past, you had Jimmy, who's a ball stopper. You have different players who, Tyler Hero, also Jimmy and Tyler trying to share one ball. And you're looking at it and saying, all right, can Tyler Hero come in and actually buy into what the offense is that they want to run? Or is he going to be like, nope, I'm back as my all-star self. Give me the ball. I'm going to shoot 22 times
Well, but that's why he can contribute, because offensively, like when they were playing with pace last year at the very beginning of the season, he was a huge contributor to that. It was only when Jimmy started taking the ball and dominating it the way that he did, and they needed to build the offense around that. Jaime Jaquez Jr., another perfect example.
He's my dog again.
Well, everybody looked at him as like another version of Jimmy Butler that was going to operate from the high post and was going to just use different post moves. No, he's better in this free-flowing offense. Tyler Hero will be the same way, but they had to build an offense around Jimmy Butler before. Tyler seems like someone who, if willing to just be a piece of it and get his the way Norman Powell has, he'll be a greater piece of this offense.
Stop being a homer, bro.
Jaime Jaquez had some trouble last year, faded over the stretch, kind of vanished, didn't do much in the way of improving. I still have, unfortunately, the text string that Jeremy started with an assortment of people that says Jaime Jaquez is the next Jimmy Butler.
That was the name of the group chat until I changed it to Kalo Ware is the next Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But Jaime Jaquez has been very good. This is an interesting question for later. It's not the question for now, 3 games in. But once Tyler Hero is in the Harlow songs, Jack Harlow songs, and he is the all-star, can he even go back to being sixth man guy? Can he even go back to being the role that he was so good at when he was good enough to be sixth man of the year? Is that something, once you've been an all-star, do you come back, you miss 3 games, and you're like, you guys miss me? And they're like, no, not so much.
It's like, I'm the man, right? And they're like, eh.
His time is coming. It's a Grim Reaper meme. We left the Terry Rozier door behind us. Tyler's next.
Moving on to the University of Miami and what it is, and we'll get to the Dolphins in a second because Tyreek Hill is lecturing us, sermonizing, and taking a victory lap on Twitter saying, where's everybody now that they beat Kirk Cousins without Drake London?
Let me say something really quick. I'm sorry about my Kirk Cousins takes. He's dead. It's over.
Oh, my God.
Lost all trade value yesterday.
Forget trade value. Forget value. I'm off the plane. I'm off the ship. I'm off the train. I'm off everything on Kirk Cousins, Dan. I'm sorry to report.
Day.
I'm sorry to report.
You finally capitulated on the quarterback.
Yes, I'm sorry to report. Kirk Cousins, dead to me.
Okay, a couple of things there. I guess we're not going to start on the University of Miami since Kirk Cousins is now dead to Tony. Kirk Cousins is making $45 million a year. That is the kind of money that you give Micah Parsons. That's the kind of money you give T.J. Watt. That's a backup quarterback making $45 million a year. And once you take away Drake London and have him only throwing to a tight end, oh, look, Bijan Robinson is having the fourth worst game of his career. And all of a sudden, a terrible run defense can stop the run because they're not afraid at all of $45 million Kirk Cousins throwing it to Kyle Pitts.
What is this league?
I mean, when you miss your wide receiver one and your QB one, the deck is stacked.
That's a good point because Harlan yelled on the Waddle touchdown. He yelled, "Wow, what is going on?"
I love that call.
And what is going on is exactly that. Is QB1 and wide receiver 1 are out, and all of a sudden Bijan Robinson is not one of the top 3 running backs in the league. He can't get anything going because the Dolphins can suddenly stop the run when every back in the league and every backup running back in the league has gone for 100 yards against them. But Bijan Robinson, who's every bit as good as Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley, can't get anything going in that game because it's Kirk Cousins to Kyle Pitts.
Congrats, Miami Dolphins fans. You support a team that the opposing team looks at like, let's hold them out this week.
Cody, what were your thoughts on that Dolphin game?
I mean, I give the Dolphins a little bit more credit than you guys are doing. They stopped Bijan Robinson. They tried to establish the run. Their offensive line was the same. He was getting the ball, and they stopped him. And that's why they started throwing as much as they could. Plus, they were way behind. I give the Dolphins credit. If you're going to rightly slam the Dolphins a week ago for a 31-6 loss in Cleveland and say they quit, where was the effort? Okay, if you're going to do that and you think that's legit, then 1 week later you got to give them credit. To me, call me a homer, I don't care. I've heard it before and I've heard worse. To me, this was an example of the Dolphins being embarrassed nationally, being mocked nationally and locally, called quitters. This was their answer yesterday. I thought it was a very good performance. I don't care if it's a backup quarterback and no Drake London, and nobody hurts for Drake London missing that game more than me because he's one of the top players on Greg's Lobos.
I was going to ask you about that if you're upset about that.
That was tough, man. Between 6 teams being on buys and having a couple of injuries like that, and that's a last-minute injury.
Yeah.
I had to scramble home from lunch and make my lineup change just before the deadline.
God,
but having said that, I thought the Dolphins played very well. I would like to see them get a modicum of credit for yesterday.
What'd you serve? What'd you serve up for lunch?
We went out to lunch at an unnamed burger joint near us.
Okay.
The journey to 7-10 begins. The
I
journey to the 12th pick begins.
mean, okay, so you're getting carried away.
I mean, I'm just saying
like 7-10. That would mean you think they're going to win 6 of their final 10
I hope
games.
they don't. Look,
They did the
they're not.
last time they were 2-6.
I'm just saying this is the Dolphins dolphining. I don't believe they're any kind of good. I think they're what they were a couple weeks ago, but they're going to do this. They're going to annoy us, win a few games, and they're going to get the 12th pick.
Okay, the thing that attitude doesn't take into mind is that teams don't tank. Okay, players are not built that way. NFL players are not wired that way. That's why you saw the defensive effort you saw yesterday. That's why you saw the Tua you saw yesterday, who had a terrific game. Because you get mocked and people kick you, you want to get back up. Jordan Brooks, who leads the NFL in tackles, said that after the game. When we're down that far, we stand up. We're proud athletes.
Can I just stop you for a second? Because you're right. Much of what you're saying is correct. However, the two things that are variables here that are unusual. One, I don't often hear Kevin Harlan scream, "Wow, what is going on?"
That's a good Harlan, actually.
Great.
And Falcons fans were booing in the third quarter, because they knew what was being lost to. It's not just that the Falcons were frustrated because they were bad. They were losing to a 1-6 team. Can you guys tell me what happened in the first quarter? Tua did throw a couple of interceptable balls, right? Because in the first quarter, I was driving around and I was listening actually to the Atlanta broadcast.
We all know why.
And the Atlanta...
Whoa.
Well,
what?
He's got some thoughts on that. I saw them on Twitter. But the Atlanta broadcast described on the opening touchdown drive that the Dolphins had. I don't know what happened, but the announcer was yelling, they put a paycheck on your stool every Thursday to catch that. Like, because somebody dropped a very easy interception and I didn't see the first half of the first quarter.
I like the idea of just the paycheck sitting on everyone's stool.
No direct deposit.
When they come into the locker room. You know?
Old-timey.
Anyone see my paycheck?
Old-timey paper checks.
Can we talk about how the day started for Dolphin fans, which was a report that Tua's got a swollen eye now?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. He woke up with a really swollen-looking
Definitely
eye.
pink eye.
I was like, come on, the internet is trolling me now.
It's just like, you read that and you're like, wow, they're going to get blown out. This somehow is more of a circus. A swollen eye out of nowhere, and then he has his best game of the season.
By the way, that would-be interception was a pass that was batted at the line, flipping up in the air, and the defensive player should have had it.
That was the call that I heard on the radio on my way home from the airport.
That's a tough one for that team to call.
Yeah, it's a tough one for that play-by-play man to call.
How'd Cephalo do?
He did exactly how you'd expect. All right, it's like we're being told the game with his eyes closed. I mean, at one point it was Tua. I swear to you, on that play
Can
that
you do
were
the replay?
talking about.
Can you reenact it right now?
Well, no, because I wouldn't be able to be that terrible at it. But it's Tua was sacked, then the pass was intercepted, and then the pass was incomplete. All three of those things happened on that play. I'm driving in my car. I'm being told Tua was sacked. Then I'm being told it's an interception, and then I was told it was incomplete.
It's not fair to put Jimmy Cephalo in a radio booth that far away from the action and expect
He's
him
got to be using binoculars, right? I picture it's just like
it's not a fair thing to do. When you say Tua had his best game, the reason he had his best game is because he threw everything within 2.5 seconds, and everything. The average air pass was 3.7 yards.
Right.
I'm a little frustrated with the Dolphin offense, how often it throws to Achane, how often it throws the ball sideways. But they did the move of bringing the offensive coordinator down to the sideline so that Tua stops thinking. So he just stops thinking, throw everything in 2.5 seconds, and that's why he had his best game of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, but that's a big move. That's a good move by Mike McDaniel that worked, bringing Frank Smith, the OC, down from his press box perch.
But why though?
onto
Like
the
McDaniel
field.
calls the plays. Like, so why does that even matter?
Because Frank Smith develops the strategy, the play, and to Dan's point, he's probably in Tua's ear after every series or during a series, during a timeout, in his ear telling him what to do and what not to do.
You know, everyone talks about how it was 2 point whatever seconds. He was getting out as fast as he has all season, and how that's a really good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. Like if you're getting the ball out that fast, there's no you're not like the play's not developing for a huge play. It's okay. Hopefully my first option is available, and I'm going to do it immediately. It doesn't matter whatever else is happening.
But
on
it
the field.
is how they had the number one offense in the league and best passing offense when they had it at 9-2 is because he was getting everything out faster than Tom Brady did. Like that is where they had their success, and the absence of that is where he and they have been figured out.
And then you have these like 3rd and 10 plays. And I know you're talking about how, we're throwing it horizontally. There was this one 3rd and 10 where they throw the screen pass, which resulted in no yards. And I'm just imagining, like, Marino must be watching, and on 3rd and 10 we're throwing the screen pass. It must just be projectile vomit. Like I don't understand the league when it comes to that.
There's no greater example of watching Aaron Rodgers age than seeing him on 3rd and 10 being a quarterback who I don't trust to convert a 3rd and 10.
It's such a scared league now when it comes to offense.
Okay, but it worked yesterday when they're throwing a screen pass to Achane in space. That's what he's turning into. Like the last 2 touchdown passes were 43 and 20 yards, long plays. Both were screen passes. Both were catch and runs. It was working. And by the way, Atlanta went into that game with the number 1 rated pass defense in the NFL in terms of fewest passing yards per game allowed. Part of that, granted. Because teams tend not to be passing against them.
Well, it also it's not like Dolphins didn't light them up in the air. He threw for 200 yards.
That's true. No, that's fair.
They were efficient.
Yeah.
Wow, what is going on? That was when the Dolphins got to 24 points. Just Kevin Harlan has watched a lot of football. And Waddle running in the open field was something that totally baffled him. I did want to get, though, to the University of Miami. It seems like their uniforms is what everyone is talking about. I've seen no one say anything positive about their uniforms. That first half that they played against Stanford was abysmal, was just truly horrible. A lot of
offensively.
Yes. Well, Stanford's offense is terrible. Andrew Luck is on.
I understand, but the defense is special.
Andrew Luck was chief cheerleader on the sidelines. They spent a lot of time on Andrew Luck during the telecast. Did you guys?
Was it magical? I couldn't hear it.
I ride my bike to work every day.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. That bicycle video. Hilarious. Staged for the camera. That guy hadn't been on a bike in 20 years.
I don't believe that. I believe that Andrew Luck
more likely
probably
to not be in a car in 20 years.
I believe that Andrew Luck. In fact, if you ask me what's more likely, Andrew Luck takes a horse to the athletic department or a car, I would say a horse.
Yeah.
Put it on the
Definitely.
poll at Le Batard Show. Does Andrew Luck's parking space have a car or a horse in it?
It has a post, so you can tie up the horse on a post.
Yeah, a hitching post.
At the Stanford Athletics Department. Did anyone like the uniforms? Because at the very least,
I thought they were terrific. Great message to send to the nation. In these trying
Support the
times.
troops.
The military, yeah.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen Miami wear.
Terrible.
And it was a really disappointing first half. I think one takeaway here is over the course of Shannon Dawson's time at Miami, I can kind of tell when he doesn't trust his quarterback fully. And I don't understand why. Because this quarterback is weeks removed from winning you a game on the road. From FSU deciding they were going to commit to taking away the run and the play action working and the deep passes working. If you don't think Carson Beck can bounce back from a couple interceptions against Louisville, then you didn't watch Carson Beck over at Georgia. Because that guy would keep it moving. This is not a Tyler Van Dyke situation. And they called that first half as if they had Tyler Van Dyke under center and they had to protect this delicate little snowflake with, again, a conservative running game. It's not just the fact that you're running the ball, because we saw in the second half they broke through. It's the nature of these run plays.
it's so
which is
stubborn,
just
so
A-gap.
stubborn.
You know what? I miss Cam Ward, and not for the obvious reasons. What Cam Ward did last year, every damn play is checking out of runs. He's just counting how many people are in the box and how many guys are on their line of scrimmage. And sometimes you can mitigate that. You can put a fullback back there. Miami had some big plays when they even the numbers up. But Carson Beck's not checking out of these runs. You're running into a stacked box hoping that you'll get a different result. Now, you wore Stanford down, and you kind of did towards the tail end of the game. But I think it was an overcorrection by the Miami staff. I think they took the attitude, let's just get a clean game against Stanford and get this thing back on track. But I didn't like the approach in that first half especially.
Is there a chance Carson Beck just couldn't see his players in the first half because of the camouflage? And it took adjusting.
the camouflage.
I was at the game. I had trouble seeing the receivers. I was trying to look out there. I'm like, I don't know.
I can't believe we wore that. It was awful.
It was really abysmal. Just terrible.
I don't know how you have a University of Miami uniform with no orange in it. Like where,
all black would have been dope with like just the camo down
but
the side.
you've got to have orange in the University of Miami's uniform.
This was my problem with those Dolphin uniforms. Like, it's not the Dolphins. That's not the Hurricanes.
Right.
It's over. It's behind us. Our national nightmare is now done. They will never wear those things again. So help me God.
I didn't hate him. I'm just going to put it out there. I didn't hate him. I don't think they look good on TV, but when I saw them like in the pictures and during the social media, I was like, you know what? I like them.
When they changed the color of what they looked like so that nobody would realize how dreadful they were. Because that's what happens on social media with the bad
uniforms. You don't support the troops?
Those are truly dreadful.
That's dreadful.
Uniforms.
Camo's
I don't
dreadful.
care
You don't
if
support
they're
the
camo.
troops?
Those are bad uniforms.
You don't support the troops?
I don't like those uniforms.
Do you support the troops, yes or no?
He won't answer the question.
I'm not going to
you
answer
pay
the question.
attention.
I'm going to talk about the uniforms.
Why?
I was talking about
Do you like camo?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Do you like camo?
Anti-American.
Thank you, Greg.
Finally, someone said it.
Good. I'm glad we got here. Finally.
Somehow the second
I
worst,
hate America.
Somehow the
Somebody
second
close.
worst uniforms of the weekend too.
The Steeler one?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
really
Steelers
bad.
were just abysmal.
Those were bad too.
What's that design on the front? The stripes and the V's, and it's just horrible, but not as bad as the UM uniforms.
I disagree. I
Okay,
think they
I
were
love
worse.
the military. Nobody loves
Thank
the
you, Brad.
military more than I do. But the uniforms were terrible. When I see that color olive, I want to put that in a martini. I want 2 olives on a spear in my martini. I don't want to see it in my football uniforms. It's ridiculous. It really is.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of olives, Roy and Mike and me were at the game thanks to Mike, and God, that's how I watch football now. Zaz, those seats.
I know. That's where I sit at the games
And this
now.
buffet spread that they had, Roy comes back to our table with 9 olives.
Wow.
What's the limit at these like buffet things? What's the max of olives I should put on my plate?
I think the max just make sure you leave some for the next person.
I mean, it was like he had a big
What's
plate.
the spread looking like, Chris? Like, what's out
great
there?
spread.
Dude,
What's
one
out there?
side there's pizzas, pastas, desserts,
Yeah,
cookies. The other
it's
side we
good.
got steak with the chimichurri, and then you got your regular like hot dogs, chicken wings, chicken tenders, just
And Roy came back with 96 olives?
at least 9, and I may have undersold it.
Yeah, good for him.
So we're cool with this? Like there's no
Yeah.
rules at a buffet?
No. Look, you can take as much as you can fit in your mouth in one time. Anybody can put 9 olives in their mouth.
All right, go get.
And
I
you
need
don't
9
even-
olives.
It doesn't even. You don't even notice it. Like I
I
have
don't think-
9 olives.
you
in my
can't
mouth.
do 9 olives
You don't
at
know
one
I have
time.
any olives in my
Notice
mouth.
it.
You can't. I'm gonna get you olives. You
Go
can't
ahead.
do
I
9.
love
get
olives.
go get 9 olives and let's test
Oh
his
my
theory
God, do I
here.
love olives.
Let's see if we will notice. Go get 9 olives and let's see if we can notice whether Greg
I'm
Cody.
not sure that's in our fridge.
I love olives like I love bacon. There should be some sort of an amalgam there. You know, like a olive bacon or something. Get on that, culinary whizzes.
What? Okay, put it on the poll. Should there be an amalgam of olives and bacon?
Thank you.
Is 9 olives too many olives to take from a buffet? I've got a number of questions here. Worst uniforms from this weekend, University of Miami or Pittsburgh's uniforms?
Close.
And I missed a couple, but let's get back to Mike's point because this isn't something that I have heard a whole lot in covering football in South Florida. Not trusting your quarterback with audibles. The last time I remember it being a conversation around here was Dan Marino being offended at the end of his career that Jimmy Johnson would not allow him to check out of run plays. And that offense that I saw against Stanford, a really bad football team, that's a half that will get you beaten against a good football team. You'll be down and you won't be able to dig out of it because your quarterback is trying to throw his way back into the game. And all
It's what happened against Louisville.
It's not a way to play football, not trusting your quarterback.
Please don't misrepresent. I don't know if they trust him or not. I just know it's not happening. And I knew it happened a ton last year where Cam Ward checked out of run plays and made Shannon Dawson look like a genius. I don't know if the directive is you can't and Cam could, and that's just it. Carson Beck's just not doing it for whatever reason, and that's why you get the repetitive run game up the A gap and, with varying degrees of success. My whole thing is Carson Beck should be trusted. This is not Tyler Van
should
Dyke.
be.
He should be. Look, man, do you want a drive ending because of 2 runs up the A gap and a tunnel screen, or occasionally a deep shot arm punt? Like I think Carson Beck has shown in his career that he can rebound from bad performances and interceptions, and I think we went into that game way too cautious.
I think he should be trusted because if they don't trust him, they're not winning shit this year.
Well, I think they have the discussion like, hey, if we limit turnovers, no one we can hang with anybody, and that may be true. But I'm just saying, like, you invested in this quarterback. The quarterback's got arm talent. And again, you're 2 games removed from him actually doing the thing that you're scared and calling games like he's not able to do. He can go on the road. He can win you a game. He can take what the defense gives him. One bad performance against Louisville where they made astonishing interceptions. And by the way, that luck worked out a little bit because he threw an early one that should have been intercepted. Yeah. I just don't see it. I think it's an overcorrection. Like you play a defense in which you're going to have more possessions at SMU. Trust the quarterback. Let's move on.
Well, they're going to need more of Beck at SMU. No question. That's going to be a tougher game. I think against Stanford, even at halftime, 7-7, stubborn Mario's not worried about that game. He knows he's going to win in the second half. Maybe not score 35 points, but it was a predictable outcome, even at 7-7 at the half. Who was worried?
Well, but hold on a second, though.
I was a little bit worried.
Let me just stop
I was worried of never getting invited back if I went and Stanford beat him.
Let me stop you for just a second. When Mike says running the ball up the middle with varying degrees of success. Over the last 2 games, that's not been a varying degree of success. I've been surprised that they're very good running back. They've got a couple, but Fletcher specifically, and that offensive line has been stopped. Like
he had 106 yards.
Okay, but he had it in the second half.
Yes, which is, if you're Mario Cristobal, you point to, like, look, it works. Which I'm saying, no, like, they got a couple big plays. Now, Malachi Toney, who is an absolute joy to watch in person. He's just a brilliant athlete to watch live and in person. He broke 3 tackles on a good play that went outside, but they had 2 big running plays on the outside. And I'm not asking for a revamp of the identity. And by the way, Alex Mirabal designs the run game. Dawson calls the plays, but they obviously have more A-gap runs than any other team in the nation. I'm not asking all of a sudden let's become an outside zone running team. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for like 4 more looks a game, honestly. And it was great to see Jordan Lyle get into the end zone. Hopefully that builds his confidence. But his skill set, he can run A-gap for you and he can pull away. But get that guy in space. Get that guy outside.
Mike, when Chris Cody says the way that he did, he's small. The other thing about him is he's not that fast. Like, he's fast, or he's quick.
He's quick in the game.
He's quick, but he can't. He was caught from behind against Louisville, and look, he's fast, but he's not the fastest player on the field.
He's not Roscoe Parrish, but he you think that because he's so fast in game.
Bounces off tackles. Yeah.
Everyone wants a service dog with Steve-O.
We are joined by a very famous persona from America, and also Steve-O, because Wendy from Peru is an internet sensation. Go ahead and tell the story, Steve-O, before we get in here. And always thank you for making time for us. But tell us why it is that your dog is more famous than you are, because I didn't think it was allowed that you can just find a dog on the streets of Peru, fall in love with it, and then just bring it over to America. I thought, didn't Johnny Depp or somebody get in trouble for trying to bring an animal into the country without the proper permission? Like,
well, that was the other way around. He already had the dog and was trying to smuggle it into Australia. I was in Peru for a mountain climbing expedition, and I found Wendy here on the streets. And fortunately, the mountain climbing expedition was a TV show, and the production jumped through all the hoops for me. So I really didn't have to do anything. And I was able to bring Wendy home. And the video I made about finding her, it garnered over 100 million views on Facebook, making it the most viewed video I've ever put on the internet. And it's kind of devastating for an attention whore like me. I've with the lengths that I've gone to, But there it is, man. So Wendy and I, we are on a rock tour as we speak, barreling towards Syracuse for a show tonight. And we've got shows every single night in the Northeast U.S., for the next 12 days, Albany tomorrow night.
This video is adorable. Is Wendy's a service animal?
She is. You bet she is. Yeah, because I have terrible issues.
You should take more dogs, though. I mean, it seems to be working for you.
I have terrible issues is a great sentence that would explain the last 25 years of your life. You've done great sort of capitalizing on, let me take a tour bus through my terrible issues.
Right. That's about right, man. I have terrible issues.
and she brings you genuine comfort when she's not a professional service dog license, and you've got the proper paperwork. Steve-O is now a paperwork man with a legitimate service dog that he needs for comfort.
You know what? I'm gonna break your guy's heart right here. There's no such thing as official certification for a service animal. Oh. And because and I did the deepest dive, man. I found the best dog trainer on the planet, and they were the ones who told me, yeah, there's no such thing as official certification. We can sure train her, but that's never. I got a note from my doctor. I got some weird thing online that means nothing, which says certified service animal, but yeah, there's no such thing. You can ask a blind person with a seeing eye dog, and they'll tell you that there's no such thing.
More to the point.
So we make fun of Yeah, we travel around and we make fun of service dog vests.
I just figure that you find genuine comfort here, and people might be surprised to learn that one of a man who has been so fearless in his life would admit to needing the love of a dog to temper his issues. That's real adult, grown-up introspection. One of the Jackass guys is doing.
All right. I mean, hey, I'm happy to admit that for sure. And the federal law requires that a service animal be trained to assist somebody with a disability. Although the law does not require the person to explain what the disability is. Now, when he asked me what Wendy's trained to do, she is a mobility assist dog. And what that means is she gets me where I'm going because I'm not going anywhere without her.
Nice. That's why you got 100 million views. That's because people love dogs and love the story of you just found a dog in Peru and fell in love.
Well, Steve-O, are you certain there's no one in Peru looking for their dog named Wendy? I mean,
I am. I'm very certain.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, Steve.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Stugotz. So you are now touring the country. Tell me about what this portion of your life looks like. Could you have imagined 15 years ago that you'd be on a tour bus, not having to break your spleen doing something?
Well, it's bittersweet.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We are not great around here about consequences, about accountability, so people say things and then they just sort of turn to dust. But Greg Cody did say when the Seattle Mariners were up 2-0 that if they didn't make it to the World Series, he would walk to Seattle. And we're going to make him do that. Now, because we don't want to kill him, we're not going to make him do it from here, but we are going to make him do it from the closest city to Seattle that has a mayor. That is how we have decided this. So it's a 4-hour walk, and we're going to make him do this. And now I have 9 olives in front of me. And he said he could do the show with 9 olives.
Oh, those are jumbos, though.
What do you mean they're
Roy's
jumbo?
were bigger, actually.
What do you mean they're jumbos? They're just olives.
There's no pits, right?
I don't know. You
Why
said
don't you
you
put 'em in
could
your
do
mouth
it.
and
Go
find
ahead and
out?
let's see. We will get
Didn't you say 9 in one bite?
Well, you're not supposed to bite them.
No, you're putting them all in.
You're putting all 9 of them
Fine.
in your mouth.
Okay.
Does it have a pit?
At the same time.
No, it's good.
All right, so go ahead and put all
They're
9
good.
of them in your mouth,
Down
and
the
then
hatch.
I will get your analysis.
And then I can eat them right away, right?
No, you have to. Well, put them first. You said you can have them
Yeah,
easily
like
in
a
your mouth.
chipmunk.
You said we wouldn't even notice if they
Right.
were in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's what you said. So go ahead.
Choke, please.
God, that would be great content.
All right. That's full. You can admit, you can take the L. You don't need to choke. Take the L. That's good. Your mouth is too full. You can't get all 9 in.
He's not even halfway there yet.
For the audio audience, he has about 6 in his mouth, and he's clearly at capacity.
Go ahead.
No, he has
Much
less
bigger
than 6.
Much bigger than I thought they'd be. Oh, they're different. The olives I had in mind are that big. I mean, these are this big. These are like the size of eggs.
You're not supposed to
ridiculous.
chew them. They're not the size of eggs, unless you're talking about like tiny little goose eggs or
Yeah.
like the
Quail
quail
egg.
eggs.
That
Thank
has
you.
to be too much. Admit
Quail
it.
egg.
That's too much salt, even for you.
You know what they're the size of? Olives.
No, these are big. I feel like I'm eating a University of Miami football uniform. They're good, though.
I'm getting nauseous looking at this.
Put all of them. Put all of the
that's
remainder.
salty.
Put all of the remainder of the olives in your mouth, and then promote this week's Greg Cody show featuring Greg Cody with the remainder of those. The
trying to
5,
kill people.
The 5 of those in your mouth. Okay, there's one that you couldn't get, but go ahead and tell us what's on the Greg Cody show featuring Greg Cody.
It's one episode. Younger son Michael joins us.
Younger son Michael.
Well, Halloween edition of Greg Doesn't Know Movies. Plus, Christopher and I get into a huge rappy-cacking argument over the Dolphins' win yesterday. We almost come to blows on the air.
My dad has the crazy take of when the Dolphins win, bad. I mean, when they lose, bad. When they win, good.
Look, I don't believe in tanking, This guy thinks tanking is easy. He would have wanted them to go to 1-16.
Just eat the olives.
I can tell you what's going to happen. They're going to finish like 7-9. They're going to have a nice second half to the season.
They won't play the last game?
They're going to get whatever. They're going to have a mid-round draft pick. People like Christopher, they see a victory not as a good thing, but as, we just sank another 5 spots in the first-round order. Who cares? Make a good pick at 16. There's a good player at 16. How about you identify him, draft him?
You're
damn good.
So gross.
I will get to the Brian Kelly story in a second, but I just wanted to tell you it's not just that Kirk Cousins is making $45 million a year, also has a no-trade clause. No trade clause on Kirk Cousins.
Which is more offensive, Cousins making that or Brian Kelly gets $58 million to go away?
So what is the actual number? Is it 53, 54, or 58? I've heard it argued about, but this is the second time this season. I asked the question when James Franklin was fired. I said, how many coaches can be fired in college football, and it will break into your Sunday afternoon professional NFL viewing, the news. And Brian Kelly is another one now that when those people started meeting, the important decision makers at LSU, he's 34-14 at LSU. I don't know what LSU expected to be, but 34-14 is unacceptable to them because they've lost 3 of their last 4 games in the SEC. And the last one that you were at and Lucy was at was particularly embarrassing because now Mike Elko is better than you, comes into your house with a 7-0 team, and he's now 8-0. He empties your stadium at night when Death Valley is supposed to be scary at night, and it's empty late in that game because everyone has left.
They were so overwhelmed the whole game. Like, even at halftime when LSU was ahead 18-14, 11 points came directly from mistakes from Texas A&M. Like, A&M dominated the first half as well. The score wasn't indicative. And then the second half was super embarrassing. And like usual in this spot, you get the Brian Kelly clips where it's everyone else's fault. He's yelling at everyone else. There's this one clip where after a big punt return by Texas A&M, Brian Kelly, you can read his lips. He tells the special teams coach, this is going to cost you your effing job. Can you imagine your coach tells you that during the game? This is going to cost you your effing job. Like, how does that help anyone in the middle of the game to threaten another coach with his job?
So Brian Kelly gets let go, and I think I'm still allowed to be surprised by that midseason. Am I not? I even with what I thought was a $53 million buyout, I don't know if it's 53 or 58 million, but now to make him go away when you stole him from Notre Dame, like that was a sound heard around sports. Notre Dame just got its coach stolen.
It came out of nowhere, right? Like it was a shocker.
By an SEC team that is telling you, it's announcing to the world, we're serious about football. And 4 years later,
because people weren't clear on that before.
After 4 years and going 34-14, the standard at LSU is, nope, we win championships with Ed Orgeron. We win championships with Les Miles. We're the school that started Nick Saban. 34-14 is not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, all 3 of the previous coaches that you mentioned all won national championships. And Brian Kelly can never beat the good teams. So, yeah, like 34-14, okay, but that's not the standard of that school.
Yeah, I mean, there is perspective. Like, wait, what are we doing to a coach that wins you 10 games basically every year? But this felt like a bad fit from the jump. This was odd. It was a strange hiring. He has that weird appearance at the basketball game where he talks about his family. And it's just weird vibes the entire time. Angry, no accountability, always someone else's fault. Now, that has always been Brian Kelly, but success usually follows him, and this wasn't the level of success that they had there. And credit to LSU for realizing there is no evidence here that he is the guy to turn it around. And if you're one of these other schools that's kind of like, what do we do, a Wisconsin or an FSU? It's like, are we in or are we out? You guys are seeing you're like the 7th, 8th best jobs available now.
Well, I do wonder for schools like that, you mentioned Wisconsin, you mentioned FSU. With all these other schools with the job openings, Penn State, Florida, LSU now.
It's crazy.
I wonder, though, if those schools we don't like our coach, but this is not the year to fire him because there are other jobs that are going to come before. Like, FSU may have to keep Norvell. Wisconsin may have to keep Luke Fickell, even if they don't want, because, we're not going to be able to get anyone this year.
Let's close the Brian Kelly file then at Notre Dame, at LSU, because all I remember is the funny things, the awkward things, the things that were a note off. So let's first play the sound that Mike Ryan just mentioned about him showing up in LSU all of a sudden with a Cajun accent.
It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly, to be with you great fans.
What a fraud.
My family.
It's a great night to be a Tiger.
But the fact that he's a fraud doesn't dismiss the fact that the impatience in college football right now is absolutely ridiculous. The buyout total of coaches prematurely fired is over $200 million now. Over $200 million and rising. I think it's bad for the sport. I think it's ridiculous. Have a little patience. I mean, you got a guy who's got a career, great record. Give him a chance.
Did you hear Nick Saban and Kirk Herbstreit go on about this at College Game Day? It was actually Saban did the predictable thing, but he did provide a little bit of color. They debated whether or not these boosters that give so much money to these programs should have so much influence on the direction of the programs, and maybe some of these guys are firing coaches a little too soon. Yes, they should. It's like an owner in the pros. This is a pro sport. The people
who have the money
that are helping you get the kids have influence. That's how it works. If you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Should the person who pays for everything have a say?
Yeah, I love how coaches and legacy media people in college football are like, wait a second, that's going too far. What? Money has power? Let me clutch my pearls. What?
Just take a look at the White House. Wait a second, what?
Why is it bad for the sport, Greg?
It's just there's an upheaval in the sport right now that just doesn't seem fair to me. I don't mind coaching changes in mid-season, but does your coach deserve it?
Well, which one of these firings, these high-profile firings, do you think were unfair?
I think Penn State fired Franklin prematurely.
It's pretty long resume of not being able to win a big game.
He was in the championship game last year.
Well, pretty soon. No. Like there were 4 years of conversations. Is it time to get rid of James Franklin? Like they
Greg,
showed astonishing patience.
He was there for 10 years.
What is when I say one of the most amazing stats in sports is that the Pittsburgh Steelers have only had 3 coaches. What is the average lifespan? I don't know the answer to the question I'm asking, but the average lifespan for an NFL coach, because what this is merely the professionalization of this sport. I don't think it's bad for this sport for it to go professional. I think college football was more interesting this weekend and many weekends than pro football is. College football has done nothing but grow. The things that happen around college football have been very good for college football. Now, it's not good for amateurism or the illusion of amateurism, but we've buried that day. It's professional sports now,
right.
And these coaches are being treated like NFL coaches, most of whom I would guess don't get 4 years. Now, in the pros, though, 34-14 doesn't get you fired.
No, you're like the best.
Oh, of course, right.
Between 3.5 and 4 years appears to be the average of an NFL head.
69 games.
And
nice.
now, by the way, Mike Tomlin's under a little bit of pressure in Pittsburgh. So no coach is immune from this. But I think it's accelerated and exaggerated in college football. And I look at it from a personal standpoint. Did James Franklin deserve to be fired? Now, you can argue yes.
Yes.
You might be in the majority, but I would argue no. I think when you did what he did last season, overall a very good year, and you're a few games into the next season, and you're already pulling the trigger on getting rid of this guy, I think that's premature.
Well, I mean, what hurt James Franklin, you're right that he did win playoff games last year. He won 2 playoff games, matter of fact. But those 2 playoff games that he won, what hurt him was SMU and it was Boise State. Like if you're playing if at least one of those, once you get to Power 4, I understand SMU's Power 4, okay? So you get what I'm saying. But if one of them were a higher profile team, maybe the conversation's a little bit different.
Well, he's playing who he's scheduled to play.
Well,
What's
but it's not. I would do this math. Put this on the poll as well, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Does it matter more that you lost to Northwestern than it does that you won 2 playoff games against SMU and Boise State?
I think it does.
Well, clearly it did to Penn State because what got him fired was the last loss. I mean, it was cumulative. But what's happened to both these coaches, just so that you understand, I know James Franklin's record was, I'm losing it now, it was something like 34-8 or something. But it's the last 3 of 4 that get you gone. Like, it's not anything that happened before that. It's what made it the 14 at Brian Kelly's number because he lost 3 of the last 4 that he's lost, and they're like, okay, let's speed this up. But it's still shocking. Like, I'm not yet at a place where I'm so immune to the professionalization of college sports that I'm not shocked. That video, it feels like that was a couple of weeks ago, the video that we just showed of him. That doesn't feel like it was 4 years ago that he was being introduced at LSU.
James Franklin was 104-45 at Penn State.
34-8 over the previous 3 seasons before this year. Also, just while I have a second, I just want to say, like, I do support individual military personnel.
He doesn't support the troops, Dan.
No, I mean, I do.
I
do. No, what I said is I do support individuals. I support troops.
Say the support.
I support troops. No, I do. Look, I'm not going to be deposed.
While we're cleaning house, Dad, how you doing after all that sodium?
Well, speaking of the military, I can report right now that coffee does not go with olives. It's just a mix. It's a combination that you don't want to be a part of. Trust me. I'm going to be running to the bathroom like Richmond took Virginia.
I like that.
You guys just saw one of the greatest tricks in the Greg Cody playbook when he just wants to say what he wants to say and doesn't want to address anything that's been offered to him by the show. Speaking of the military,
Jeremy brought it up.
There was an olive tether.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Speaking of the military, do olives go with coffee? Yes or no? Let's play. Let's just clean out the Brian Kelly file here. Earlier this season, he got very mad with a reporter, and I want to just play the sound again. This was recently, and I want to play the sound of him banging on a table, and these are the only Brian Kelly memories I have. So play whichever one you want here, and we will play both of them and empty the Brian Kelly file.
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Just him pounding the desk.
Play that one again so I could just hear what sounds like cutlery flying off of the press conference table.
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Now play him getting mad at a reporter. This was after a game they won. This was during happier times.
What are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Wow. I want to believe with all of my heart that belittled reporter worked behind the scenes to get Brian Kelly fired. I believe it happened.
I can relate to the saying micro and then that pause of like searching for the word you're actually looking for. Stop micro analyzing everything.
He circled back around and made sure that he got that word on the back end. Also, no longer 17-1 at night. They pride themselves, Zaslow can say, having been there.
It was my first time there this weekend. Yeah.
They pride themselves on being a very difficult place to play at night. I remember the first time I learned it. The University of Miami went there, and they had a tiger in a cage outside of the Hurricane locker room. They put it there, and the Hurricanes were sticking their hands in the cage, and then won 44-3. That the nighttime LSU feeling is something they take pride in. He got fired because he lost that way at night.
Yeah. Saturday night in Death Valley. Like, that's their thing. And, yeah, it was really loud. I was on the field, Greg. I had a field pass for the game. And it was, especially in the first half, they made cool plays. They had an interception in the end zone. They got a block punt for a safety. Place is very, very loud. But Texas A&M didn't care.
Did you speak with Mike the Tiger or no?
No, we actually went to go visit Mike the Tiger. Homeboy was hiding. Didn't want to come out. Didn't get to see him.
Him and his team.
Whatever, man.
You see any cool celebrities on the sideline?
Shaq. Yeah, I was standing right behind Shaq.
What did he say?
That's a bad job by you. Why would you stand right behind
Well,
him?
I mean, I was off to the side, but I'll tell you, man, there's like this whole crowd of people. We're standing on the sidelines watching the game. Shaq just sees over everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever blocks his view. He sees, it's a lot of people trying to see what's going on. And Shaq, he just gets to stand there, unobstructed.
Do you realize, though, when you say you're standing behind Shaq, I could cover the entirety of the earth and find maybe like Yao Ming in terms of humans throughout the entirety of Earth that would be the worst to stand behind trying to see something. Shaq has to be at the very top of the list.
But there were people in front of Shaq, too, but it doesn't matter. It's an unobstructed view. He just gets to stand there and never has to tell anyone in front of him to sit down.
Could you hear what he was mumbling or no?
No, he was just chilling, watching the game.
What did he say?
He tried to say Wembanyama, but his father wasn't listening, and then he started leaking confidence.
Yeah, but Wembanyama is a few inches taller, but he's not
as wide.
Like a refrigerator like Shaq is.
It is a pretty special place that Brian Kelly occupies, where like no one thinks he should have stayed. You can't find an ally in the media.
It feels also like everyone universally believes he's a massive jerk.
Yeah, everyone's pretty happy about this. Pretty pumped.
You know, someone died in South Bend.
He is a jerk, but will he get another job quick? Hell yeah.
You think so?
I don't know.
No?
Somewhere.
Notre Dame should take a look at him if they lose Marcus Freeman. How great would that be?
Wow.
People don't like arrogance, like it's sports fans especially, but they don't like unearned arrogance because Brian Kelly carries himself as if he's better than you and better than he actually is, and so to see it unmasked, people take a delight in it.
You can be a dick when you're winning national championships, right? Everybody's like, oh, okay, wow, he's the genius leader, he's so tough, he's so this and that. But when you're 34-13 and you get blown up by Mike Elko and Texas A&M, you're the dick now. Like there's no genius behind it.
Right. I mean, Bill Belichick was arrogant when he was winning, and New England loved it.
Let's cover here some college football in a second, but before we do that, I just wanted to talk for a moment in professional football, which obviously all of us know, super dangerous, super violent. Rare is the time, though, that you get what happened with Scatterboo yesterday, where Romo yells, "Oh no." Jackson Dart turns his back and won't look over there because the leg is so mangled, the ankle is so broken. And then the telecast says, we're not going to show that again. And that's that telecast. Every other telecast that does show it does it with an assortment of warnings on the front end that tells you not to look. And there are two kinds of people on earth. The people who want to see that and the people who don't. Which are you? Because I am someone who doesn't. I have not yet seen the injury. Thank you for all the warnings.
You haven't seen it, Dan?
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that. It's a little too true for me on what it is that we're enjoying so much every weekend. I don't want to see it. I looked away. I still have not seen it.
He was asking to be helped up initially at first, which is just, this guy's a psycho.
He was trying to get ready for next play.
It's insane. It's a testament to how much people like him and like his style of play.
How about that? I mean,
you got a standing ovation from Eagles
right.
fans.
You know how likable you are if the Eagle fan is upset that you're leaving the game?
Every football fan was super bummed because that is potentially a life-altering injury for a dude that was well on his way in that market to becoming a superstar. From his personality to his style of play to the novelty of him being white at that position, the guy had everything in front of him. And every football fan let out the same kind of, damn, man.
I think with modern medicine, though, like, he's going to be back. He's going to be fine. Like, how many times have we seen, Dan, I know you haven't seen the injury, but
Dak
like,
had that injury.
Dak, Jordan Travis, like, all these injuries
Well,
were...
Jordan Travis is medically retired.
Well, yes, okay, understood. But Dylan Gabriel...
And it's not about speed with Scadaboo. It's more about toughness. So he'll probably be okay.
We can't say that. We can't know that. It is a badly fractured ankle that in a sport where we all know how violent it is, which are you, the person who looks or the person who doesn't? I was grateful for all the warnings. I didn't want to see the slow motion replay. I didn't look too closely at what happened to Tyreek Hill either because of how unpleasant that was.
Not too closely, but you looked.
Well, I couldn't avoid. No, I didn't
was
look.
It one eye?
No.
Give it a little De Niro look?
Like Tua.
Through your fingers? De Niro.
Good call by you. It looked in real time awful, and I didn't look at the slow motion stuff afterward.
Slow motion was worse.
On,
I don't want slow
on
motion.
Tyreek Hill. But when Mike says Philadelphia fans, not only did they boo Santa famously, when Michael Irvin was on the field and it looked like paralysis, those fans, not those fans, but Philly fans were cheering. Philly can be an unusual amount of cruel. Scadaboo was the kind of story that it seemed everybody in football was enjoying.
Yeah, they weren't cheering Irvin the way that they were cheering with Cam Scadaboo. It was different. They were happy Michael Irvin got hurt. Everybody was really bummed. And I think everyone knows this guy was already being put on a launch pad to superstardom. And it sucks. He's a really fun player to watch.
When it comes to that sport, though, and very quietly last week, at least around here, I don't know what kind of reverberations there were nationally, but in the game the Giants played last week, you saw they got fined $315,000. An assortment of people got fined because Jackson Dart went into the tent for the concussion protocol, and then Dayball went right in behind him.
So did Dart.
And they went in. Well, Jackson Dart went in the tent because he was the one that was concussed.
Oh, excuse me. Scadaboo also went in. Excuse me.
Steve Martin followed them.
It was weird that he got
What
fined
is he
too.
doing there?
Steve Martin also got fined. It was weird. He had the arrow through his head. He was looking in. But they got fined $315,000 because it looked like the optics of it that they were pressuring the doctor. Hey, get Jackson Dart back out here, and then Jackson Dart gets back out there.
Yeah.
$315,000 is a good amount of money to fine people here, but any national reverberations on that? Does anyone care? Everyone kind of just sort of understands, yes, of course they're going to try to get their quarterback back in the game, whether he's concussed or not.
No, that was different. That crossed the line, and that's why Dayball himself was fined $200,000 of that amount. Head coaches just don't do that. There's been the NFL has really made a separation of church and state, so to speak, of football and medicine with that tent. And if you go in there for a concussion, it's supposed to be the doctors and the concussed player. It's not supposed to be any personnel from the team. And the next time that happens, the head coach will be fined more than Dayball just was, because that's what the NFL does. They have a system of, all right, you know now that you're not supposed to do that. Next one who does it gets fined $500,000.
I mean, it definitely went in there. Like, Scadaboo definitely went in there. So, yo, dog, we need you. Let's go. Come on, get your helmet. I mean, that's definitely what happened in that spot.
Right, for sure. But when the head coach does it, it's worse.
The only other thing I took from that Giants-Eagles game is, again, the tush push was officiated poorly. They fumbled on it. Jalen Hurts fumbled, and the Giants should have had the ball. And these guys can't officiate that play. They don't know how to. It's obvious. There's no other play in football, not pass interference, not anything, that is as hard to officiate as that play, given how many times there are mistakes where we're all watching on television, and where 7 or 8 times we've already been. The Eagles have done something illegal on that play, and they're getting away with it. And in this case, they got away with a fumble. He absolutely stretched the ball as if he was over the goal line, and it was absolutely taken from him, and they blew it dead, and they blew forward progress dead. But his forward progress was not. Well, but on that play, the forward progress is not ever dead. They could do it from the 1 yard line and end up in your end zone because they just keep pushing everybody.
That's what I think maybe they're trying to I think that might be the correction, where they're trying to blow that play dead, the forward progress dead, as early as possible to take away some of that advantage that the Eagles have had. Because you're right, it can go on forever.
that play not being called a fumble may end up hurting the Eagles long term. Like, they might look back at that play and be like, we got to get this out of here. It's too weird. Whereas if they call a fumble there, bad for the Eagles in the moment, might be better long term for the Eagles and the rule.
The only football game from yesterday that I actually want to talk about is that Bengals-Jets game, even though it was an absurd game for a lot of different reasons. But before I do that, I want to ask you guys from the college football weekend, what did you guys think was the most relevant thing from the weekend, given these choices, okay? Mike Ryan appears to be right on the SEC is a total fraud. Like Texas, Alabama, laboring against Mississippi State and South Carolina, and both of them getting fortunate to win those games.
Congratulations, Vanderbilt, for limping through the line, winning by 1 score against a backup quarterback. You get to leapfrog a team that won by 35.
Top 10.
Vanderbilt ends up with a better team than I think they have ever had.
Yeah, no, they're a good team, but
ranked higher than Miami now.
Yeah, but
that should show you how bad the SEC is.
They're
Vanderbilt.
Well, they beat Mizzou with their backup quarterback. Let's rank them ahead of Miami. Vanderbilt will lose to Texas because that's the SEC. The ACC with a better publicist.
And Mizzou, is throwing a Hail Mary that's being stopped at the 1 yard line. But you've got BYU is 8-0. Okay, Georgia Tech. This is the best Georgia Tech team that I have seen, and I think they had a co-national champion. Did they not? Did Georgia Tech not win a co-national championship? Do I have that wrong? I may have that wrong. But 8-0 and 5. They're 5-0 in the ACC for the first time. Haynes King is going to be at the Heisman ceremony and should be. Like he's a great college quarterback. So Georgia Tech is quietly 8-0. Indiana appears to be legitimately very good. Texas A&M appears to be legitimately very good at a time that very few teams are very good.
Dan, 1990 under Bobby Ross, they finished 11-0-1 and split the national championship with Colorado.
Bobby Ross.
A long time ago.
Ole Miss beats Oklahoma.
Yeah, that probably is the one that stands out the most to me is Ole Miss. I mean, they bounced back, obviously, from a tough loss last weekend in Athens, and Oklahoma's clearly not as good as people thought they were going to be. Oklahoma's probably done now, 2 losses the last 3 weeks, but I think Ole Miss is a fun team. I think they're a fun story. I think Lane Kiffin's obviously a lot of fun, so Ole Miss winning that game on the road, that was probably the biggest.
Are we not assuming, though, that Oklahoma is a fraud, at least in part, because Manier hurt his hand?
Mateer, yeah, he hasn't looked the same since he rushed back from that injury. Now teams adjust. We've seen Miami kind of dip once people realize what they're doing. But I was so into this Ole Miss Oklahoma game because those teams are good football teams. Lane Kiffin kind of won this game with the presser at the start of the week, which is basically, Venables is stealing signals. That's why their defense is so good. And Venables kind of took that one on the chin. It's like, well, it's a testament to our preparation.
I mean, didn't Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen almost throw hands over that?
Yep. Yeah, but Lane Kiffin, he knew how to get inside the heads of the opponent, and we had this tremendous moment after the game where he's talking to David Stone, who comes up to him after the game to try to congratulate him, and Lane Kiffin is unlike any other coach in the sport right now.
Who else can get away with that?
That's great.
I mean, that seems to me like Lane Kiffin, because there was a time where this definitely was not true. Lane Kiffin must be super likable to these players, because I think 99% of coaches who are going to do that right there on live television to a player who just lost a big game, it's not going to end the way that interaction just ended.
There was a news tidbit that I saw, and I found it refreshing, because Lane Kiffin, whose name is always in these job searching rumor mills, he addressed it with his team beforehand, and he let all the reporters know, like, we're going to talk about the Penn State thing, the Florida thing head on. This is a newer locker room, and these guys haven't been through it before, and use it as a testament to their program. And it was kind of cool to see him acknowledge it that way, as opposed to some of these other coaches like Fran Brown or even Marcus Freeman, who does a really good job of saying the right things, and his actions actually follow what he says, but they don't actually close the door on it. Lane Kiffin's not closing the door on any of these job rumors. He has a very good agent, and at the very least, he'll get a raise out of it. But he doesn't try to bullshit you with it or his players, and I really like that.
It really is a perfect spot for Lane Kiffin because he can say what he wants, do what he wants, and exceed all expectations. Anytime he wins that game, it's a surprise because no one's actually expecting anything in the SEC. It is a perfect job for Lane Kiffin to have. But I want to play all of that sound again because I feel like you guys missed something, and this is largely a visual joke, but I want to show all of that again with Lane Kiffin and also remind you that he's allowing his social media staff to play around with this too, because Ole Miss just sent out after that game, sooner, try later is what they did on
oh, that's well done.
Via tweet. Oh, really? Okay, let's see here.
Sooner rather than later. Come on. Are you running the account?
I want to show you guys something funnier that I think that you missed here in this video. Go ahead and play that whole video again. I think we missed something. I want you guys to look at why Oklahoma isn't what they used to be. It's right there in the middle.
Who the hell's that guy?
That guy right there is the reason that Oklahoma is no longer any good at football.
It has to be a kicker.
He is half
What's Ethan doing on their sideline?
He is half the size of Lane Kiffin.
That's Ray Finkel.
How does that guy have better field access than Zaz? How is that possible that guy, look at the size of that person. That person is not the kicker. That person is the kicking T with a mustache. That person is tiny. That is not Oklahoma football.
I'm going to look up. What number does that look like? 42, 43? Who is that
All right,
fool?
you're going to look that up?
I'm going to look him up.
David Stone is huge.
Let me see.
Yeah, but Lane Kiffin is
mustache.
not. Lane Kiffin is not huge, and that is a tiny person. Our Hampton Farms Nuttiest Fan nominees, how many of those do we have this week, Christopher?
Oh, wow. It's the Nuttiest Fan brought to you by Hampton Farms. Get nutty with Hampton Farms, the official peanut of bowl season. Vote for your favorite Nutty Fan at Le Batard Show on Instagram. Dan, we have 2 nominees this week. We have a naked duck. In the Oregon student section, we had the duck taking his shirt off, which made him completely nude. And luckily, he's kind of covering himself up with his right hand, but I think
he is.
Does. I feel like I should be looking away.
It does.
Why does that feel so revealing?
But it's not revealing because it seems like the duck does not have genitalia. It seems like there's nothing.
Dan, the way the ducks are set up, it's actually inside. Yeah.
Okay, so it's true to form.
And he is competing with an Indiana fan, an old man who is taking your shirt off seems to be the trend of the season. People like to take their shirt off, and this Indiana fan decided he saw the crew doing it. He's like, I'm in. Let's do it. And he whipped off his shirt, and it's an old man shirtless. What's better than that?
It's harassment.
He doesn't seem to be doing it. Somebody's like making him do it.
I love that energy. Chris, we've done this before, but show me your belly button.
That's a pretty good build for an old man.
That's a pretty good build?
Yeah, that's not bad. Good for you, old man. I wish I had that look in the mirror, I'll tell you that.
I feel like you do have that look in the mirror.
All right, you asked for it. Take your shirt off.
I feel like that's exactly your look in the mirror. I feel like he's got the same belly as you, a little bit swollen, probably drinks a little too much beer, a bit of a beer belly.
Oh, and I don't?
That looks great.
No, I think
Yeah.
I think you and him have similar builds.
It's true. We're both pasty and old looking. That's true. Yeah, I've just got a little bit more gut. He's got the little flap over the belt there. I like that. Well done, sir. Well done.
It feels like your entire body is wrapped too tightly in sausage casing.
Yeah.
Not
That's fair.
Not unlike him.
That's fair.
No, that's
Well,
fair.
in Greg's defense, the 9 olives today don't really help. The sodium intake makes you kind of bloated.
I tell you what, between that and the bacon I had earlier, I'm on a sodium high right
And
now.
coffee doesn't mix. It's
Yeah.
tough for you.
Plus, I got extra caffeine. I'm drinking extra caffeine coffee lately.
Quick
What?
addendum.
Get me all jacked up. What?
I didn't mean Dylan Gabriel. I meant Mackenzie Milton, by the way. Wrong Hawaiian quarterback.
You drink 4 cups a day. Why would you up the caffeine?
It's a natural high. I'm not a dope fiend. I need a natural high.
Good. People were wondering if you may have been a dope fiend.
And what that is sort of spleen breaking stuff. However, I shot it all for the tour ahead of time. It was stuff that I would never be allowed to do for Jackass, like having general anesthesia drugs administered through an IV while I was riding a bicycle, and I got another medical professional
No.
I got another medical professional to put a 4-inch needle into my spine and inject a drug into my spinal cavity to paralyze me from the waist down while I was in a full sprint. I had another one where I had another one where I was butt naked in an airplane and quite literally servicing myself with a guy strapped to my back. And as I fell out of the airplane, I was ejaculating, which I'm pretty proud of.
Oh, geez.
So it's a XXX rated show loaded with flagrantly illegal stuff, and I'm just tickled by it. And it's a multimedia show too. So after each bit, I screen the glorious culmination of the bit.
How hard was it to keep your mind on the task at hand?
Oh, dude, that was the most challenging thing ever, man. It was the tiniest little airplane packed full of dudes, and all I had was a little portable DVD player. It was tough.
I mean, we've never had anyone ask a creepier question in a creepier tone.
Way he asked
I don't understand. The way that you sensually asked him and started a sentence with "How hard was it?"
I thought he was going to stop right there. How hard was it?
That's it. Yeah, how hard was it? Would have been for you to pull the parachute on that question. But you're like, and then you went finish the task in a way that I think you were going for sultry there.
Task at hand. It was close.
Task at hand.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty heavy. There are 10 different items on the list, so it's quite a loaded show. And yeah, so
are you guys doing this at hand loaded thing? Are you guys doing the word choices on purpose?
What was below you?
15,000 feet of air to the ground.
No, I guess my question is because that skeet had to land somewhere.
Oh, come on, man. Jesus.
That portable DVD must have come, but it came in handy. I mean,
come on. You've got him doing it with porn? You've got him.
He did. That's what he had the DVD
for. Got him flying down with porn.
What'd you watch?
I watched, man, it was some pretty heavy
I'm sorry.
stuff.
No. Let's just keep it moving here. Oh, God. All right. Excellent. And so there it is.
Journalism.
Excellent. Well, yeah, and I just claimed he's an adult and he's learned and he's grown up. And I know. And
just because he has a dog?
I know. And before we started here, the last time you were on with us, but I mean, he was introspective about things that sounded like therapy while we were talking beforehand, and just the admission in general that you're soothed by a dog is vulnerable in a way that I was not expecting from him.
A dog he stole from someone in Peru. I mean,
there is somebody in Peru, just with a totally different name for Wendy, who's now a star. Like there's some heartbroken family in Peru trying to explain to their 4-year-old while Steve-O gets to tour the country with that family's dog.
The press box has changed.
But Mike said it best. The press box has changed. I mean, seriously, get over yourself. We're going to talk during the post game. Tim Reynolds, enough. I mean, enough.
I mean,
seriously.
you just got to know when
You're
the
not allowed to cheer in the press box. Did you know that?
Well, I did.
They were cheering for Will Manso. I think that's allowed.
And Goldie.
If the Dan Le Batard Show comes to a hockey press box, hilarity is going to ensue.
Yeah.
They're going to yell at Will Manso for 7 minutes, and you're probably going to have to go to a stairwell to write, man. Like, it's just...
if it was 7 minutes, I'd get it.
It
was
is what
7
it is.
seconds.
Exactly. I mean, David, everyone else was saying hi. They were enjoying the show. They were laughing at us. But one guy is still clutching on to his newspaper deadline.
I'm a little
and it's
disappointed.
Tim Reynolds.
And is he your demographics, too?
I don't know.
I happen to like Tim a lot, and
Enough of
I imagine this was going to be like E.J. Raddick or something, but that's just a bad look for Tim Reynolds.
Listen, I went up to him afterwards.
This was the best part. Stugotz is like, I've known Tim for years. I'm going to go fix this. He walked to Tim and walked right back very quickly.
Yep.
It was a very quick interaction.
Well, he was writing. Okay?
He's on deadline. It's
enough of the deadline.
It's a work.
I gotta get home. I feel like playoff hockey. I gotta get home. I mean,
yeah, we're on deadline too. We got to get that post game out.
It is a working press box. Tim Reynolds is a journalist who's trying to write, and Stugotz is back there. Hey, Will Manson!
That was Chris and Goldie. Don't leave out Goldie.
We're on deadline too. They're going to kick us out of that press box a lot sooner than they'll kick out Tim Reynolds, who's just typing away. That's just
Those writers had their game stories done before the end of the
Precisely.
game.
Yeah, a good writer, right?
Oh,
what happened there? I apologized to him. I've known Tim for decades. I mean, Cody was done. He was out of there. I mean, you know.
What was that interaction like, Stugotz? Take us behind the scenes. You walk up to him, you say what, he says what?
I said, Tim, I apologize. That's on me. I should know better. Not Chris, okay? I should know better. I've been in press boxes before. I know you have a deadline. I apologize. And he said, that's fine. Just, try to keep it down.
That is way too long.
That was
way
much longer than the actual conversation.
I always extend it a little bit. You guys
can we call Tim Reynolds and just ask him about what the interaction was like?
No.
Greg Cody's back in my day. Seeds.
Seeds. Had a slice of watermelon lately? Popped a few grapes in your maw? Then you probably notice seeds are disappearing from fruit. And you probably see this as a good thing just because it makes life a little easier. We love us some convenience. In fact, it's a terrible thing, the de-seeding of us. Symbolically alone, the seed is the king of life. Adam gave his to Eve, and here we are, if you believe the story. If they take the seed out of humans the way we have watermelons, we're all dead ducks. Beans, peas, rice, coffee, corn, all seeds.
Hey, we're throwing a Miller Lite watch party for Thursday Night Football. Dolphins v. Ravens at Flanagan's in Kendall. That is my neighborhood, Flanny's. Kendall Drive and Southwest 127th, right there by Kendall Soccer Park. Join us Thursday night for a Halloween block party. Costumes encouraged. Dan will make sure of it. Come hang with the crew. Dan, Chris, Roy, Tony, Jeremy, Amin, Juju, Dave Damashek, who will not shut up about Nate McLouth, and more. Party starts at 6. Kickoff at 8:15 p.m. And don't miss Flanagan's $1,500 costume contest. It's Miller time.
Looking forward to this on Thursday. It's a block party. We throw good parties, and I assume Lamar Jackson is going to be playing. He's going to play in this one.
I mean, I don't know. Like they apologize for how they approach this injury thing. Lamar, always strange around Lamar Jackson injuries, even when he's not protecting a future contract. But they do have a Pro Bowler on their center still.
The reason that they apologized for it is because you guys do understand it's because of the gambling line, right?
Yes.
It started at the Ravens were favored by 6.5 because Lamar was playing, and then it dips to 2 because Tyler Huntley, who's good there but not here, goes down to whatever it was, 2 points. And now it's back up. The Ravens are favored by a touchdown coming to Miami, so I assume Lamar Jackson is playing. Like, that's the only reason they would be favored by. They're not going to be favored in the game if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. They wouldn't be favored, would they?
I don't think after the Dolphins had an impressive win Sunday, I don't think they would have been favored.
I mean, they just beat a good Chicago team, and Snoop Huntley looked really, really good in that system. So, I don't think why would not? Why wouldn't they be?
Guys, the Falcons lost by 30 to the Panthers. No, they're not a very good team. That win from the Dolphins doesn't exactly prove much.
Ravens would have been favored by 2 or 3, I think.
You think the Ravens with their backup quarterback would be favored here against the Dolphins when the Ravens defense has been just as bad as the Dolphins defense?
I still trust the Ravens more.
I don't. I don't. I mean, I can't say, and it's moot because I do think Lamar Jackson's going to start against the Dolphins on Thursday night. A lot of people thought he was going to play this week. It was a little bit of a surprise that he didn't. He's been out a while now. I mean, Come on, what do you got, a hammy? Let's go.
Yeah, that's exactly what he has.
Yeah, he does.
He's got 2, actually.
Literally.
I mean, come on, Lamar.
Is this a Lobos issue?
No, he's not. He's a
Really?
He's
Jack's not on the
Lobo.
Lobos
He's a
anymore?
proud Lobo.
He's a Lobos Hall of Famer, as you all know, but we didn't get him this year. Damn it.
One of the things that I'm always interested in professional football is how these teams break throughout the season, how the quarterbacks break, even though we're doing everything possible to protect the quarterback. Every week in college and pro sports, some sort of game has a deciding element on a roughing the passer that's never been a roughing the passer before the last couple of years, where you're just not allowed to hit the quarterback anymore, and yet still they keep getting hurt. The Minnesota Vikings, the wheels have fallen off because they're trying to get Carson Wentz, his body parts, to function just long enough to get them back to their starting quarterback. It's one of the reasons that Justin Herbert is actually so valuable. He doesn't miss games. Like, he's so sturdy. He gets hit a ton. And just how many games is he? Who's San Diego? Who's
He's
Los
tough.
Angeles?
He's battled through injuries.
Who's the Chargers' backup quarterback? Anyone? Because I learned
No one.
No, I'm asking. Does anyone know who the backup quarterback is? They don't even have one. I don't know who it is.
Don't have one.
Trey Lance.
Woof.
Yeah, keep Justin Herbert standing up, please.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Did you know that Trey Lance was Justin Herbert's backup quarterback? Let's do funniest thing from the sports weekend.
Hey, people. Tell us what in the sport made you laugh hardest this weekend. It is a segment we call What Made You Laugh This Weekend. Ha ha ha!
All right, guys. Joel Embiid playing for the Sixers this year. Their team has actually played better when he's not on the floor, which is kind of a rarity for the 76ers during his tenure. So when a reporter brought it up to him postgame, hey, what do you think about the fact that these guys are playing better without you? He said, it's been 12 years. I'll take it. It's incredible.
Defeated, just absolutely
just like
defeated.
Finally,
he's on a 20-minute
God.
Like, what is that, 20 minutes?
This was a really funny sports weekend. It's tough, but I don't want people to forget what happened on Friday on First Take with Cam Newton getting legitimately pissed at an Alabama A&M Bulldog mascot that dared to take his hat. It's all fun and games. We're doing hip checks and we're running down the field.
He hit his hat off.
He took the hat off. He got an open hand slap to the face.
And then right about
he's telling him, "Don't play with me." Yeah, a real legitimate shove. He cocks back and pulls back. Almost.
The still shot is the best.
Dude, he was legitimately angry. Look at it. That is an iconic photo.
Do you guys should get for the end of this segment the video of when those 7 guys tried to attack Cam Newton at once. Cam Newton is not to be trifled with under any circumstances.
He's bigger than the mascot.
I saw yesterday. He's bigger than most human beings. I saw yesterday that Josh Allen scored his 69th touchdown, and they said second all time for quarterbacks. And I thought for a second, who's first? Oh yeah. The guy who was bigger than everybody on the goal line, Cam Newton, actually aged prematurely because of how they used him physically. Again, I will say, amazing that Justin Herbert is always available. Cam Newton's bigger than Justin Herbert.
I stood next to Cam Newton on a sideline recently. It was like standing behind Shaq.
He's inordinately large, and he was pissed there.
Speaking of open hand slaps, Dano, Cyril Gahn, full hands, both eyes into the title, heavyweight title champion of the world right there, Tom Aspinall. Cyril Gahn had 3 Stooges, bam, right in the eyes. And as you could see, the reactions of me, Lewis, and Robertico we had there in the center, we were all not happy with how that ended. It was a choppy
You got to
fight.
block that with the hand on the nose.
Yeah,
right?
that's one of the mixed martial arts, Three Stooges.
But when you don't see it coming, you can't throw it up because he went to go punch, and then as he punched, the fingers went into the eyes. He said it went knuckle deep. Yeah. And it's actually so if you're looking on the screen right now, the one to the right that looks worse, that looks like his knuckle is actually in his eyeball, is not the one that they called. It was the one to the left, which is the one that actually got hurt, which is why he stopped the fight. So again, to the right, knuckle deep in the eyeball. To the left, not knuckle deep, but that's the eye that got hurt.
What a disappointing way for a marquee fight to end.
You're telling me.
In no contest.
Dan, speaking of eyes, Tua's eye. What the hell happened there? That's my
And
funniest
pink eye.
thing.
Somebody had left poop particles on his pillow. That's how you get pink eye. You sleep on poop.
What do you know about pink eye?
That's not accurate.
That is how you get
Says
poop particles.
Dr. Zaz over here.
That's not an.
That
accurate
is. Look it up. That's how you get pink eye.
Look at this, though. How is his vision not affected?
The antibiotics, they work like magic.
Cheek is swollen.
What are you working? Look at it. You can barely see.
Poop particles.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's how you get
It's
pink
a fart.
eye.
Dan, you
you
wanna
fart
wear?
on somebody's pillow. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
You never watched Knocked Up?
You don't know about that? You don't know about that pink eye?
Greg, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
I got to get back to the Steelers uniforms. They played at the former Heinz Field. They look like bottles of mustard. It's so ridiculous. I kept saying to my wife, the Steelers look like the Packers because that's the Steelers uniform is the Packers shade, is the Packers color of yellow. It's just ridiculous now what teams are doing with uniforms just for the sake of merchandising and gimmickry. Throwbacks. Come on, throw up is more like it. Get back to your uniforms. I want to see the Steelers look like the Steelers. I want to see the UM look like UM, not like a battalion.
What year?
Now you're with me, Greg.
What
Thank
year?
you.
What year was the uniform that they were using here? Because that feels like a 1950s type of Steelers uniform before the one we came to know.
We've seen them wear that look once before. Originally that was supposed to be their look, but in the 75th anniversary of the NFL during the 90s, they rocked that look.
I bet it's earlier than the 50s. I bet it's like late 30s. I mean, that's ancient, that uniform style, especially the design in the front, the stripes and everything. It looked like something that they were wearing when the coaches were wearing fedoras on the sideline.
When the helmets were turtle shells.
When the helmets were turtle shells. That's exactly right. Well put.
Pink eye, also known as conjunctivitis, is an inflammation of the conjunctiva, the clear membrane covering the white part of the eye. While it is commonly a myth, pink eye cannot be caused by poop particles.
Knocked Up lied to us.
Cannot.
Wow.
Cannot.
Shout out, by the way, to the Green Bay Packers equipment manager that realized we got to go all white. We can't do this to the people.
Shout out to poop particles, too.
Why?
What's the funniest thing from the sports weekend? You get your facts wrong. You send shout out to poop particles. That's not useful.
Long overdue.
They don't
Funniest
deserve
thing
a
from the
shout-out.
sports weekend, Greg, I've been talking about this all season long. This is I dare you to tell me this is not the biggest story in the NFL this year. Yeah, that's right. Players punching each other during the game. It's not so funny anymore, is it, Tony?
Yes,
Nobody's
it is.
laughing
It's-
at me.
What?
You
It's
see
the
what
funniest
happened?
thing of the sports weekend for you.
You see what happened with the New York Giants? Yeah, it's funny how stupid it is. It's funny how everybody doesn't see it except for me. That's why it's funny. The New York Giants were playing the Eagles, and two players, they didn't try to tackle the guy with the ball. They tried to punch the ball out. You know what happened? The Eagle ball carrier, he was slippery, and he got through. And what happened? The Giant punched the other Giant. Concussion. On friendly fire.
Ever heard of it? Friendly fire happens
They're
all the time.
punching each
Yeah,
other.
support the troops, Zaz.
He
Thank you,
punched them
finally.
out. There is no way this is not going to be outlawed after this season. You can't have players punching each other. If you want to punch the football, fine. But if you miss, you can't punch a player. It's going to be a penalty.
You're not playing the game right. This is funniest thing from the sports weekend.
I'm playing it
funny
perfectly
connotes
fine.
positive.
No.
Funny like this made me laugh. Ha,
It's
ha.
funny how much smarter I am than everybody else.
Chicken shit.
Poop particles.
Funny.
I sent Zaslow the video of that when I saw it because I believe this has been undercovered. This particular play was undercovered. Devontae Smith catches the ball, and one Giant tries to punch the ball and misses, but the other Giant is also trying to punch the ball and hits the first Giant in the head in a way that led to the concussion protocol. And it was just the way that you would hit somebody square in the face. He just hit his teammate square in the helmet, and I didn't think that would cause a concussion, but he hit him so hard it caused a concussion.
I mean, it's happened with Kyron Williams also. He got punched in the head, and he fumbled on the goal line earlier this year. You think this is football?
Yes.
You don't know ball.
What?
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
No, you don't know ball.
It's
Punching
been a
is
long
part of
time
football.
somebody has said, I don't know.
Ever heard of
you don't
Peanut
know ball
Tillman?
to you.
You ever
don't
heard
know
of Peanut
ball.
Tillman? Do you know Peanut?
Yeah, and you know what? Peanut Tillman
He perfected
punched
it.
the ball.
I know. These guys punch the ball too.
Punched him in the head.
Friendly fire
Not
happens
even
every
close to the
play.
ball.
the peanut punch. I'm surprised none of you selected Jaylen Brown's hair. I thought for sure that somebody was going to select
It was
Jaylen
tough.
Brown's hair.
Yes, can we show that? Is this your submission? It
No,
needs
it's
to be.
not.
How is
is
this
my
not your
submission.
submission?
I've got a different submission. I've got 3 that I was choosing from, and this was my second place finisher. My second place finisher is Jaylen Brown's hair.
I mean, since we threw up the image, that little smudge on the white jersey of the New York Knicks player, that's Jaylen Brown's hair. Yeah, he showed up with a brand new look, Beijing in that hair, and it rubs off on a defender.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
The white jersey.
Is that Anunoby?
Grecian formula.
It's an all-time moment in my sporting life, given my obsession.
Oh my God!
It's so good. It is great. That was my second place finisher. My third place finisher was on 3rd and 13, watching Joe Flacco run for a first down, run 15 yards for a first down. But my number one, my winner, was Derek Jeter saying after Game 1 of the World Series that Yamamoto threw a complete game the last time he pitched. Quote, Yamamoto threw a complete game. He's not going to throw one tomorrow night. He's not, end quote. And then Yamamoto throws another complete game.
Yamamoto, that's a fine. Also, it happened again the next game against the Pistons for Jaylen Brown. So it wasn't just against Anunoby. It was the next game as well. He's got to change something with his hair, Mike. This has got to change. You can't keep letting this happen. If you're going to play against a team with white uniforms, you cannot continue to do this.
This is actually a great thing that he's doing if it's strategic. Like, I'll put an elbow in you, I'll put a shoulder in you, I'll put my Beijing in you.
That should be a technical foul. When you rub your own hair on somebody else and it comes off on their uniform, it's just unbecoming. You can't have that in the NBA. It's the biggest scandal of the week. Forget the gambling. You don't want somebody else's hair smudge on your uniform. Ridiculous.
Another OLI, Justin Fields with one of the worst jump passes I've ever seen in NFL history. He just got caught in the air, jumped up, and just was like, oh, shit, and just threw it at, like, the feet of some guy.
Well, let's talk about a couple of things from that game, because Justin Fields is now 1-26 when the opponent scores 21 points. That's the first time that he has won a game when an opponent scores 21 points.
He's on a roll.
Joe Flacco put up 38 against the worst offense in the league and lost. The worst coaching staff in the league got 14 points in the fourth quarter, or 15 points in the fourth quarter, by correctly going for 2 the first time. And Justin Fields had an amazing play to get the 2-point conversion. But the Jets finally winning a football game, going on the road, beating Cincinnati, hurting Cincinnati, because Cincinnati was just trying to get the season to Joe Burrow. And this is a crippling loss to watch the Jets, who were in total chaos. The owner, no other team in the sport had the owner ripping its quarterback this season, saying he couldn't complete a pass. I thought that Tyrod Taylor would have started if he had been healthy. I thought Justin Fields would have lost that job and would have lost it forever, because Tyrod Taylor probably would have done similar things against that Bengals run defense. By the way, Matthew Berry continues to give away money around here. He told you to take both those running backs against the Bengals defense, and both those running backs went crazy against the Bengals defense, and the Jets scored 39 points in that game and won, even though you go ahead and give me all the other teams that have won games with Breece Hall or a running back throwing the ball at the end from the goal line. Like, that was
a bad throw,
no,
too.
but an asinine call in that situation. Like, just truly asinine to have that to have Breece Hall. You're running the ball all game well, and you decide to have Breece Hall throw into coverage at the goal line. Like, they converted it, but what a crushing loss for Cincinnati. The only close game yesterday.
It was one of those things of like, no, yes, because he rolls out, right? You realize, oh my God, he's gonna throw this ball, but then he's not, and then he kind of tucks it again, but then he kind of brings it up against stops, and then throws it over the ball to Mason Taylor. The defender didn't even see him. Mason Taylor caught the touchdown.
Mason Taylor, first touchdown.
But it was like, oh my God, that was a terrible call.
Let's play Justin Fields talking about Woody Johnson, the rare sports owner that has 2 names that refer to penis. Woody Johnson is a clown. He's a professional clown. And what he did by speaking the other day made things worse for his team somehow, his 0-7 team. Here's Justin Fields talking about it after the game.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, that's outside noise at the end of the day. I get that he's the owner of the team, but you know, it's outside noise. The biggest thing was my teammates believing in me and my coaches still believing in me, and you know.
Wow.
God.
That's actually inside
Yeah,
noise.
couldn't be more
It's not
inside.
outside noise. But if I were Aaron Glenn, I would have thanked Woody Johnson for lighting a fire under Justin
the
Fields.
fire lit.
How
Damn
quick
right.
you were able to hear in the background the PR guy. All right, thank you, Justin. Immediately when we're talking about
That's my favorite thing.
All right, thank you, Justin.
Last question.
Let's play it again. So we love doing that. We've had a number of times over the years where the PR guy saying, okay, let's wrap this up is right there. As soon as the Woody Johnson question appears.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, that's outside noise at the end of the day. I get that he's the owner of the team, but, you know, that's outside noise. The biggest thing was my teammates believing in me and my coaches still believing in me, and, you know, God. So.
Drake May yesterday was getting MVP chants in New England, and I think what's going to end up happening here, Kansas City plays tonight, and what's going to end up happening is we're going to get to the playoffs, and Mahomes is going to play against a whole bunch of quarterbacks that everyone is going to expect him to beat. It's going to be Bo Nix. It's going to be Daniel Jones. It's going to be Drake May, who might not be ready quite yet. The Colts are good, but the Chiefs, if I made that a playoff game tomorrow, everyone who's listening to this would assume that Daniel Jones will turn into Daniel Jones. Look, Tony, I understand. But
I've been the biggest bandwagon guy for the Colts this year. Daniel Jones has unlocked something in his brain. I don't know what it is. Also, Jonathan Taylor, probably the offensive player of the year.
Good.
But like that team plays well offensively, defensively. We thought Shane Steichen was an idiot. In fact, really good coach.
That team is very good.
Team of destiny, Irsay.
And they make it look very easy because the thing that Daniel Jones keeps doing is he's converting all these 20-yard passes where his guys are just wide open because he's just making the right play, and you have to respect all things Jonathan Taylor because he's really exceptional. But I want to talk about Drake May for a second because he doesn't have the benefit that Sam Darnold has in Smith and Jigba in explosive plays. He doesn't have that kind of wide receiver, and he's throwing the ball deep better than any quarterback in the league. So he's very close to ready, but the reason that Kansas City is going to be assumed by everyone listening to this to be able to get past all those other teams in the playoffs is because you don't respect the Herberts and the Bo Nixes and the Daniel Joneses enough to think that they're going to be able to beat Mahomes. Like, that's what's going to happen in terms of perception.
It is kind of crazy. I mean, Drake May's top receiver yesterday was Matt Collins. He threw for almost 300 yards, and his top receiver was Matt Collins. Tua had a good day yesterday, right? Yeah, threw for 202 yards. Drake May threw for 282.
It's not just that, though, Zaz. He's the third best running quarterback in the league. Like, I think I'd put him right after, like, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I think I would put him third.
I mean, you have Herbert,
ran
you
for
have
50
Jalen
yards
Hurts as
yesterday,
well,
yeah.
but his ability to scramble is ridiculous. Chris, I have a really good Drake May stat.
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
Per NFL Plus, Drake May joins an elite club with 200 passing yards and a 100-plus passer rating in 7 consecutive games within a season at any age. He joins Aaron Rodgers, who did it in 2011 and 2020, Tom Brady in 2007, Peyton Manning in 2004, and Patrick Mahomes in 2018. That's it.
So Caleb Williams is the third best quarterback in that draft, right?
Drake May's going to be great for 10 years if he doesn't get hurt. Like, that part is obvious. They haven't even started building in the draft around him in a way that gets him that team does
He has no weapons.
That team, I wouldn't say they don't have any weapons, but they don't have the kind of weapons that usually are associated with the passing stats that he's putting up. He's throwing the ball down the field. You guys were just talking about conservative, right? And you've heard me say before, as it relates to quarterback measurements that aren't empirical, do I fear you on 3rd and 10? Do I fear that you're going to make 3rd and 10 irrelevant? Mahomes at his best, 3rd and 10 didn't matter. You were always thinking, you almost felt there was a funny thing that happened with the Chiefs at their best, where getting them in 3rd and 10, you didn't feel like you necessarily succeeded on the first 2 plays because it was so hard to stop them on 3rd down as well. Drake May down the field is doing things you shouldn't be able to do with those skill guys. Like, it's not... The Colts are very good. They're not in 3rd and long very often, but they're very good on 3rd and long, and you fear them on 3rd and long. There aren't many teams you can say this of right now. Never mind. Josh Allen in previous incarnations, this Bills offense is not the same on 3rd and 10 as the last couple of years of 3rd and 10 Bills offense. The idea that the Patriots now have an offense, they didn't even play well in the first half of that game. He didn't play that well because Myles Garrett had 5 sacks in that game.
It's going to be fun twice a year watching Drake May evolve, develop, trying to wrangle that division from Josh Allen.
Kayshon Boutte, to your point, Dan, that weapon over the last 3 weeks, 25-yard touchdown, 29-yard touchdown, 39-yard touchdown, and 39-yard touchdown. Like these huge plays coming from Drake May.
Great throws.
I was going to say, that's the thing of a quarterback that can kind of lift all the tide that lifts all the boats. He's a guy that's looking around and said, Stephon Diggs is kind of washed, Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, Austin Hooper's catching touchdowns, the ghost of Hunter Henry's out there catching touchdowns. Like, they don't really have anybody, and that's why I asked Diana Racine last week, hey, can they go out and get somebody in the market that's an alpha number 1 wide receiver? Like, what could that look like? And she's like, that'd be really cool if they got A.J. Brown, but it's not going to happen.
Dan, I'm happy you touched on Myles Garrett too. Someone rescue this individual. I know he's making a lot of money. It's a difficult contract.
I'm not going to let you do this. I was telling you that he should have demanded the trade.
He doesn't get to do it. No, he doesn't get to do that. No,
and stick to it. Not make it a bluff that is for just money.
He doesn't get to do that.
No. You.
So he's trapped.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait a minute.
You don't feel bad. Someone rescue the man.
Mike.
You know what his reaction to Micah Parsons being moved to Green Bay was? Like, wow, he did it. It's so hard to do that.
They would have traded Myles Garrett, except that he couldn't say no to the Godfather offer, the same way that Deshaun Watson didn't want to be there, and he couldn't say no to the Godfather offer. Like, that's Cleveland's move. Oh, you don't want to play here? Well, what if we give you all the money? Okay, fine, I'll take it. Like, Myles Garrett wasn't serious about wanting to leave him winning. No, they offered him the money. It's like, oh, so now you got to eat it. You got to eat it now.
This is so
Eat
strange.
at a nice restaurant.
So strange. Like, okay, let's see where we're at this season. Let's rally around. We drafted 2 young quarterbacks. We got Joe Flacco. We made the playoffs with him. Myles Garrett's not going to think, yeah, we're going to suck this year. I can't believe that you were all out against that. You're all against rescuing Myles Garrett. You're like, he had his chance.
You were against it when I said to you that he should actually mean it during the holdout.
So it's his fault.
He should have gotten. He's going to waste his career there.
Yeah.
He's the best pass rusher there's ever been.
Yep.
He is the best pass rusher in the history of the league. He's faster to the number of sacks that he has than even Reggie White. Before 30 years old, and he's going to waste his entire career there because he chose to take that money and not be serious about that holdout.
He said yesterday he would have given up those 5 sacks in one game for a win. Do we believe him?
No.
Yes.
No, I said
okay,
a 5-sack game.
He didn't take it seriously. He hijacked the Super Bowl. Like, he took it super seriously. That's why it's a Godfather offer. You can't say no to it.
But if you do take that offer, you can't complain.
I just can't believe that we're all like, well, this one's on you.
That's right.
You get to die in that town.
I'm actually putting it on you. You, not him.
Me.
You, Mike Ryan. Yes, because I remember when he held out or when he made the trade demand, I'm saying stick to it because he did have the power to get out of there and he folded his cards.
I don't know what I had to do with it. I wasn't like, don't stick to it.
Yes, you were.
You know what you did.
Yes, you
were.
were.
What did I do?
You did that. You know what you did.
I don't think either of you know what I did.
I know what you did. You don't remember it. That's
You
why
know
I
what
won't
you did.
allow you to do what you're doing right now.
shit.
You did do that.
I didn't do shit.
I
I was
saw
like,
you
this
do
is
it.
strong.
I remember you
Oh,
doing
you know
it.
what you're doing it right now.
You
know what you
You
did.
did it before. You did it now.
Say what you did. Say what you did.
Say what you did.
You're doing it right now.
I didn't do anything.
He's still doing it.
I'm starting to believe you did something.
I didn't do anything.
Why would you feel bad for Myles Garrett? It's self-imposed.
Because he's a Cleveland Brown and he's done everything the right way.
It's self-imposed exile. He wanted to be there and chase the money.
I'm a little stunned at the hostility.
I'm gonna go find.
This is like when you're at a restaurant and Grandpa's getting older and he
I'm gonna
snaps at the waitress.
dedicate my evening to finding the sound of when I told you he needs to stick to this. And you were out here arguing, no, he doesn't. It should be nice in Cleveland. Wait until he enjoys his time in Cleveland. Nonsense.
Wait until I was probably like, man, this is a bummer. But I was like, yeah, you deserve this because he wasted his career.
Right.
In fact, I am certain I said, you deserve to lose this guy, Cleveland. I'm shocked that he's there. But also, stop yelling at people.
I'm confused. What are you guys confused about? He demands a trade. And then their response to that is, we're going to make you the highest paid person ever. And he took it. So he can't then 4 games later be like, no, I want to be out of here.
The difference is he didn't. A lot of times players demand trades. Like Michael Parsons, players demand trades because of a salary dispute.
Why
he
is
didn't
your
demand
finger,
a
You're
trade.
doing the finger thing?
You're doing it right now.
You're doing the finger thing?
See, you're doing it right now.
Like he crossed the
You
line?
are doing it. Yeah. Well, no, he didn't cross the line, but now he has to eat it. He demanded a trade, in his own words, because it's not a winning team, and he does not see a path to winning long-term in Cleveland. Here's a lot of money. Okay, I'll stay.
He did cross the line, and now he has to eat it. And he's on the sidelines. They took him out yesterday. You know why? He was yelling because he had 5 sacks, and he didn't want to come out of the game. He wanted more sacks. Like, he wanted to stay in a game that was decided to see if he could have more sacks. That's a top 5 pick that was trying to block him unsuccessfully. A top 5 pick who said, I will fight and die to protect Drake May, and then Drake May almost died because Myles Garrett was always in the backfield.
Just to be clear, you don't want him rescued. You don't want to see him playing games of import.
I wanted him rescued.
He made a choice.
You're changing your argument. We had it at the time, and I remember saying at the time, when Myles Garrett demanded a trade, stick to your guns. You have real power here, real value. If you don't want to waste the entirety of your career in Cleveland, then you need to stick to your guns, and he did not.
I don't even recall a debate. I was like, yeah, he's gone, and he deserves to be gone. You did this to him. He should be angry. He should be hijacking the Super Bowl.
But then he took the money and stayed.
Yeah, but that was a huge
6
stunner.
games later, he'd just be like, I don't want to be here anymore.
All right. Well, I don't want him to get a rescue boat. I don't think I want to tell him, hey, you stay on the Titanic, Billy Zane.
You guys are acting like grunge bands that took record deals. Like,
oh, he sold out, so now he doesn't deserve the opportunity. What is this?
He signed a contract that finally paid him what he's worth.
Right. By his choice.
Well, all I'm saying is someone rescue him.
But he was never upset with his previous contract. That was never an issue. The issue, in his words, was, we can't win here. I want out.
Yeah. Well, that was a misstep. I guess.
Capitulation.
Yeah, they're a bad football team.
You know you did.
I didn't.
I think you know. You know now.
I just want him to see, like, let's get him on the Chargers. What do you say? That's my angle.
Wait until you see. I'm going to go through the archives tonight and produce this sound. You're going to be shocked by what your argument was.
I bet you to go through those archives.
I'm going to.
I bet you.
How are you going to do that, Dan?
Yeah.
I'm going to. You watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it in tomorrow.
I don't know how you're going to be able to find any of it.
No, because I'll just look at when he asked for the trade. I'll just look for the date and I'll find it.
And just go back and listen to all of the podcasts around there?
Not all of the podcasts, just when he was an insufferable. Oh, no, that's going to be hard to pin down. When he was insufferable.
Whoa. This is remarkable.
It's just crazy
you made this about me.
That the Browns are somehow like a worse version of the Lions. Like the Lions made their 2 greatest players of all time, and Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, retire early. But Joe Thomas and Myles Garrett are just going to play out their entire careers, and they're still going to be a terrible team at maybe the 2 most important positions in football outside of quarterback.
What a giant waste to see that guy have more sacks than Reggie White before 30 years old when he has so little help organizationally and on their defensive line. Not just organizationally, but it's not like I remember those Reggie White defensive lines, and while he was a menace in Philadelphia and Green Bay, he also had other people with him that were foursomes that were difficult. They are going to waste the entirety of Myles Garrett's exemplary, unprecedented career in Cleveland because he can get 5 sacks and they still get blown out by however many points they got blown out. And we're still talking. And Drake May's getting MVP chance when that was Drake May being slowed in the first half of that game.
But I do think he's handling this like you're suggesting. Like he's sitting there eating it. He's not doing the bad employee thing. He's not asking for his way out. He's not doing a reversal.
You need to eat it too.
I'm saying someone rescue him.
Nope.
I'm not saying Myles Garrett needs to make a mess of this. He's too classy to make a mess
but Mike,
of it.
he was throwing his helmet and yelling at people on the sideline yesterday when he got removed from the game.
Sometimes it hits somebody else's head.
6 months ago, let's make him on a deserted island. Let's make that Cleveland.
Go on.
In February, he's like, somebody help me. And then the Browns said, we're going to build you this big-ass mansion there. So you're going to be happy here. It might stink here, but you're going to be super happy. And then he said yes. And then 6 games later, you guys are expecting to be like, I don't want to be in this mansion anymore.
No. I'm not expecting him to do that. And nor do I think he's even capable of that because largely his time in Cleveland has been very, very classy. I'm saying someone else realized there's a guy who's getting 5 sacks against a playoff team that is on a terrible team, and he just needs to be rescued. So just someone rescue him. Because I would like to see Myles Garrett win. I would like to see Myles Garrett trying to get one of these all-world elite quarterbacks on the ground in games that matter. That's it. I'm a fan of the game. I love ball.
He had a chance to rescue himself, though, and he didn't. I mean, and after the fact, you're going, somebody rescue him when he had a chance to rescue himself. These are the breaks.
Can you guys look up for me what was being talked about at the time? The Detroit Lions were talking about trading for him, and we were talking about like how many draft picks that would take, and the numbers were fairly extraordinary in what it is that we were talking about. Going back to yesterday's Jets-Bengals game, though, something I forgot to mention in Funniest Thing. I don't know if you guys noticed this. So the Jets come back by scoring 15 points, 2-point conversion, 2 touchdowns. It's now 39-38, and there are a little less than 2 minutes left. Joe Flacco left the field. Clearly, at that age, he had to go to the bathroom. There wasn't a bathroom on the sideline that he could go to. And so while the drama of the last 2 minutes of this game is playing out, I'm seeing him run to the tunnel, and I'm like, is he injured? No, he'd be going to the blue tent, but look how he's running. Wait a minute. I saw how he ran on 3rd and 15. Now he's penguin running. That's a man who has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco left the field, and I just think it's because of age. That you just 3 hours, 4 hours at that age, you got to go to the bathroom.
It's a long wait, Dano. Wow. I saw because I think that it was either the touchdown or 2-point conversion, but the moment he runs into the tunnel and he's gone, they score like automatically. So somebody must have ran in there and been like, Joe, they scored. We got to go. Let's go. And he's like, oh, shit.
How do they not have one of those bougie porta potties on the sideline?
They have to.
Well, because then 60,000 people know you're about to go take a dump.
They know it when you're running off the field with dancing swords. The guy's sitting down to go.
Dancing sword. I think you just say that. Is that a thing?
It's a thing. When you have dancing sword, your innards are
I've been
girdling.
saying that my whole life. I know what you mean. I just don't know if anyone else
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you know what dancing swords are?
It means you got to sit down to go, brother.
Is that what that bad feeling is? That's what you imagine? There's swords in there? Just
yes.
like
dancing swords.
That's actually what it feels like.
Thank you. I ain't lying.
That is what happened, right? Joe Flacco, after 4 hours, simply had to go to the bathroom.
Had dancing swords.
But it's such an unusual time to do it because the Jets had just scored. He's doing the timing of, well, they got to kick it off, and I got 10 minutes. Maybe he's one of those people who doesn't like porta potty because they do have. We have the story. Can you just get me the story of Larry Izzo getting a game ball from Bill Belichick because he pooped in a bucket on the sideline? Joe Flacco was not going to do that, although I would assume that somebody could go in the blue medical tent. And I think Joe Flacco is just a pristine pooper. He needs a clean bathroom. He's not going in public places.
I can find zero proof on the entirety of the internet of dancing swords meaning anything having to do with poop.
Patent pending.
Dan, they even got Jake Browning to start getting up and throwing the ball, like to just kind of like distract people. Cause it's like, oh, Flacco's going in, and then Browning's there, like, all right, let's get a little warm up here, a little this and that. All right, Joe scored. Let's go.
Let's get the story of Zach Thomas telling us Bill Belichick gave Larry Izzo a game ball.
I mean, he definitely got a game ball for going to number 2 on the sidelines during the Atlanta game this year. I'll tell you that one.
He did what?
Yeah, man, he into a bucket. So I thought that was a great story. He definitely number 2 in a bucket with the, it's a pretty amazing thing to do. I've never heard that in my life. He got a game ball for it. That's very impressive.
Greg, you think that Dancing Swords is like your original thing?
I hope so.
Dancing Swords copyright mine.
I just